All right, we're motherfucking live. Black with No Cream podcast really is a thing. This is the first episode. I'm excited as hell recording this right now because I honestly never thought I would have a podcast, and now I have a fucking podcast. I pay for it, so it gets uploaded onto the internet, and now I have a podcast, and I bought headphones and a recording thing, and now I can record my conversations with people and upload them. I have a motherfucking podcast. Goddamn. Okay, so let me get to it. If you're new here, you're probably wondering what the fuck Black with No Cream means. Black with No Cream, I mean, what literally Black with No Cream is I just drink my coffee black with no cream, so that's what I named it. But the real thing is that Black with No Cream is a creative community. It's private, actually. It's on a Facebook group where we have a bunch of members in there talking with each other, empowering each other, providing feedback, sharing content, sharing new ideas, tips, tricks, etc. It's really fucking dope. I created this because while I was on tour with Schoolboy Q, I had a lot of kids hitting me up all the time. They're asking me tips on gear and trying to find out ways to break into the industry themselves. So I wanted to create a place where everyone could kind of share their thoughts, their ideas, their questions, and answer them efficiently. And then also to bring these creators together to like form an actual community. It's been amazing so far. We have about 750 people in the group right now. It's October 7th, the time I'm currently recording this. I'm so stoked on the group. I've had nothing but amazing feedback. The group is growing in numbers. I've just been calling this beta because everything I've been doing is just basically me and a couple of friends. I've been trying to get this up off the ground, so I'm learning through my errors, but I think it's getting better. I've had an amazing opportunity to meet fucking brilliant creators like all around the world, and every time I'm with those people, I have these great conversations that I think advance my career. It helps me get better at what I'm doing. It makes me think differently. It challenges me. So my goal is to sit down with as many of these people as I can and get them on the podcast and just have a great conversation to hear about their life, their story, how they got to where they are. I want to squeeze out of them the tips and tricks and things that they've had a chance to learn along the way through their failures, through their success, and hopefully provide that to you guys so you know not to make the same mistakes that we make as creators, or hopefully that can get you to the next level fucking 10 times faster by hopefully hearing some of the things that these people put into effect in their life to help them achieve such great careers. So that's it. That's like the summary of the Black with No Cream podcast. I'm really fucking excited to do this for myself. I think I'm going to learn so much about these people. There's so many people that I work with that I've had these great conversations with, but sometimes I don't even get a chance to truly sit down and talk with them. It might be just in passing that affected me so much, and that could happen in a minute or 2 minutes. But now I'm going to be able to sit down for fucking however long I want and try to get out what it was in their life that got them to where they are today, and try to relate that to my own life and how I can use those tools to succeed even more and crush in this entertainment industry and in life in general, man. So that's it. This first episode, I'm excited. I have my friend Justin Odisho. He is a fucking superstar on YouTube. He's right now currently at 347,000 subscribers. His channel's lit. If you ever are trying to figure out how to edit shit in Premiere, Photoshop, whatever, he's your guy. And I'm sure you've probably watched his tutorials when you're looking up questions on YouTube on how to do things. I have a million times. So I'm excited to share his story, let him talk about how he got to where he is today, his career, how he used to edit videos for fucking gamers back in the day, to creating his own successful channel now, which is his full-time job. He quit his full-time job and became this superstar on YouTube, and he's just growing and growing and growing. He has his own podcast. I'm not going to keep talking about it. I'll let the podcast do its thing. I do want to note, this podcast is long as a motherfucker. It was my first time ever recording a podcast. Justin was in town. It was exciting, so we sat down, chopped it up. The next thing I know, we talked for like 2.5 hours. I apologize. I do not want them to be that long. My goal is to keep these around an hour to an hour and a half. I'm going to get better at that. We have some exciting podcasts coming up. I have my homie Ashani. He's a photographer. He shoots for Joey Badass, Ray Shrimmerd. He'll be on the podcast. I have my friend Adam DeGrosse, who's ASAP Ferg's photographer, a great Minneapolis-based photographer. These guys are sick. These are my first few podcasts. I'm going to keep recording them. I'm going to have them come out every Sunday night around 8 p.m. They'll be there so you can download that shit, listen to it throughout the work week, try to pump yourself up. So make sure you go to blackwithnocream.com if you're new here. Join our private movement. I love our community. We have our first ever merchandise, which is fucking sick. So I've been wearing that shit all the time. We got shirts, hats, pins, all that stuff, stickers. So if you want any of that, go to the store. The blog's coming out. Our goal with the blog is to provide content daily. So there's going to be all kinds of shit on there, including all the show notes from the podcast. Anything we talk about, we refer to like links or past work. I'll make sure to put that in the blog. So for now, just go to blackwithnocream.com/blog if you want to find any of these links or anything that we talk about in the podcast. Just search for Justin Odisho podcast and you will find all that shit. And I have one favor to ask. There's a new and noteworthy section on iTunes podcast. If we are trending within the first week of me launching this podcast, we can actually get into the new and noteworthy section and allow a lot of people to see what we're doing with this Black with No Cream podcast, which could hopefully get some new members in the group, and we'll all benefit from that. So please get on iTunes, download the podcast, leave a comment, tell me what you think of the podcast, give me some tips, anything that you think I could do better next time. I will greatly appreciate all that feedback. So, fuck, man. This is tight as hell. I have a podcast, and you don't. Maybe you do. So anyway, let's get to it. Oh, and I just want to note, I made this intro because I thought it was funny. So this is going to be the intro that I use during every podcast. So I'm going to play that shit right motherfucking now.
Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time,
you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people or you will die.
I'm kidding, you won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with No Cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that. All right, so let's start this bitch. Welcome to Black with No Cream podcast. This is the first episode, and I would like to formally introduce my first guest, Justin Odisho. I'll put sounds in there probably. Justin is from Michigan. Actually, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Sure. What's up, everyone? Glad to be on the podcast. Thank you, Ben.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm born in Detroit, Michigan, and then raised there, but not like directly in Detroit. People always get this image.
Outskirts?
Yeah, people always get this image. I was born in Detroit Public Schools until about the 2nd and 3rd grade. And then we moved into the Detroit metro area.
Word.
So, yeah, I'm a video editor, photo editor. I'd make YouTube videos. I don't ever really know what to describe myself as, but in my Instagram bio, I have editor, something else, and creative. I don't even know what the second thing is, but yeah, I'm a creative like yourself.
He's a very, very powerful creator that probably influenced most of the videos you guys make. If you're video editors or
if you are a video editor, I got something for you on my channel that you might like. And if you're a creative person in general, then you might like me as well.
So when this is over with, wait till we're done talking because I don't want you to go anywhere until the next however long we talk for is over with. But you need to go check out Justin's YouTube channel. He's gotten you have an impressive amount of subscribers.
Yeah, it's getting up there pretty quickly.
You just hit 4,000 subscribers? Is that what it was?
Yes.
That's very nice. You're on your way, man. Good luck next year.
I'm more worried about just sustaining. The number is cool. After you hit 100,000, I feel like you start to shift focus.
Oh, I believe
because I know that it doesn't matter how many, and that's a lot to me, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
But I know that it's small relatively, and anything could be small relatively or big relatively when you're talking about that.
Absolutely, and I think all right, just because we haven't said how many. Right now, he's saying
I have 310
10
or something. I don't know.
By
the time you're listening to this, it might be 11.
Yeah,
or 12 or 13.
No, it'll probably be more. It's
maybe you're listening to this a year from now.
300,000 people have subscribed to your YouTube channel, which is insane.
That is pretty crazy.
That's insane.
I'm thankful for it.
Yeah, and I know that now we're in a world where having millions of followers is like easy if you're a girl that comes up with a "Catch Me Outside." How about that? And you have more followers than like almost Beyonce or something. Like I know she doesn't, but
I was trying to tell my friends this exact thing. Because I realized I just ran across her page on Instagram, and she has an absurdly high amount of followers.
Crazy.
Like almost 10 million or something.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, wow, there's people who put in work, like really hard work. I think Big Sean. I looked at Big Sean for comparison.
Kendrick Lamar. I did the same thing. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I started searching names. I saw Big Sean. I think Big Sean's at like 7. I don't want to discount. I don't know what he's at. I think he's at like 7 or 8. He might be at more. But I was just comparing it like, okay, I know for a fact Big Sean has been really
a real
killing
artist.
himself.
He's
for
an
a long
artist.
Time.
Like
but
that's
shout
what I'm
out to
saying.
the Catch Me Outside.
For sure, she's crushing it and she's doing her thing. And this isn't about that girl. All I'm saying is that 300,000 is a shit ton on YouTube.
Yeah.
You make tutorials for a living, pretty much. Would you say that?
I would say at the moment I create content for a living.
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
cool.
want to say specifically tutorials because
Right, because you vlog and you also
that
work
is the
too.
main thing that people found me for. But I know, or at least I think that can't be forever. I'm thinking like 5 years from now.
For sure.
But yeah, I would say I make content, and I only just started to be able to in the past few months, maybe 6 months.
That's incredible.
After like on and off kind of falling into this for the past 5
we're
years.
gonna get into the meat of that later.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to dive. So this podcast, my goals with this is to like, we're lucky enough we're sitting in the same room.
Yeah,
Me
this
and
is
Justin, I'm gonna go into how we met. We met on Twitter.
I believe I messaged you because I had an idea. This goes into the story, the meat of the story. I started taking all this stuff seriously. I found you somehow. I forgot how I ran into you, but I was just... I would like to say I have my ear to the ground when it comes to other cool creative people.
Yeah.
And somehow I ran across your page, and I had a bunch of people that I wanted to reach out to. And so I reached out to you because I had an idea for some sort of collaboration.
Yeah,
It
you
was
had
a
an
really
idea
bad
where we were
idea.
gonna. I don't know. You didn't really fully explain it, but you were like, "We're gonna do this thing." I was like, "Okay."
It was something I can't remember, but it was. Looking back now, it wasn't the greatest idea, but at least you actually responded like, "Yeah, that sounds cool. Let's do it."
Yeah.
And I can't remember how I ran across your page though. I think just through Instagram. Just
At that time, everyone was hitting me up. It was because I was on tour with Schoolboy Q, and I feel like you probably saw something that had to do with that. It had to have been because no one else cared about me.
I for sure did not see you from any Schoolboy Q docs or vlogs. I almost for a fact think someone I was following, said something or like tagged you in something.
Somehow this shit happened. But anyway, he messages me on Twitter, and I get this tweet, and you pitched me an idea, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm down for whatever.
But at the time, I was super going hard trying to work with everybody because I was trying to get this off the ground a little bit more.
Right.
So I was just reaching out to everybody. I was like desperate. Not
Yeah.
desperate, but I was giving it 110%.
For sure. And it seemed interesting. And then I think a few months later, then we actually did the new idea. You had a new revamped idea.
A few months later, I had another wave of, okay, I need to reach out to everyone again.
Yeah.
And I think, what did I reach? I don't even remember.
We live streamed. We basically just live
I
streamed on your
started
channel.
live streaming a lot because that was kind of the beta of I wanted to get into podcasting more, and we live streamed, and that I realized that was more accessible for other people because instead of having you send me a video part and figuring something out, we could just hop on Skype together. And I think you were promoting something about the Chris Brown movie, so
our doc
I
was
realized
just
that was
coming
a good opportunity that I could let other people talk about their stuff.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And so that's how we met. And then he lives in Michigan, and when I wanted to start, so I had just started Black with No Cream only a few weeks ago. It's like in the beta stage right now.
And that's a cool group, and you invited me into that and launched it.
Yeah.
And the way you launched it was cool. It's doing really good right now on
for
Facebook.
beta. Yeah, it's really cool. There's like almost 700 people in it right now, which is amazing.
Looking from the site where you could register to the Facebook group, I wouldn't have imagined it would translate so well.
I didn't either. I think we can get to that later, but I did fuck up. I fucked up so many things, and now I'm stepping backwards. But that's why I keep calling this beta, because I'm like learning as I go.
Yeah.
And I think that I had a good idea, and then like my MailChimp shit got fucked up, and then this thing got messed up, and I was like, damn. Yeah, I just but people are slowly getting into the group now, and they're conversing. You got in there, and people are blown away that you're in there, which is really dope.
That's cool.
So I'm happy to bring you into the group, and like people are. Holy shit, that's Justin Odisho.
Which is weird to me.
I watch your videos all the time, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is perfect. Like people are coming here and getting like, I don't like to call it like exclusive.
It is kind of exclusive,
but it is like, it's cool because I've met you through something else, and somehow we built a relationship.
Yeah.
And these kids that have been following me, and now they're in Black with No Cream, they're kind of like looking for resources, and you're a great fucking resource. That's literally what people know you for. And so it's cool to bring people like you in there, but. Damn, I just threw myself off.
Well, so we're getting into what this podcast is and why we're doing the first episode. Yeah. Why I'm on the first episode.
Because you're in LA, it's your birthday.
Yeah, so my
tomorrow?
birthday's this weekend. Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How old are you
And
turning?
turning
25?
25.
25.
Yeah. So I'm
Damn.
feeling old.
Shit, you're talking to a 29-year-old dog.
But
So
I have hope because you seem young and you look.
yeah, you're young with 300K. No, so he's
I feel
out here.
old though compared to, but we'll get into
Yeah,
all
but this
that.
is fucked up because he's in LA, and the way I find out is not because we have each other's cell phone numbers and he could text me because he knows I live here. It's because he posts on Instagram a story from a crib up in the hills,
Behind his head.
behind my house, and I'm looking at it like, holy shit, is he in West Hollywood? I'm like, what the fuck? And I text him and he is, and I was like, I have a hit list for my podcast, and I have you on the list, and I really wanted to get you on here, and I just figured we'd have to do it over Skype or something, obviously because you live in Michigan, but you're here, so now we get to do this shit in person. So hopefully it sounds good.
Yeah, and so that was a really cool thing. I'm here and you're here, and why not knock out something? And you might have not been exactly ready to start, but like anything, you just have to start. Right?
Yeah, I know. And I think that's like the biggest key to creating is like,
guys, there's
just dive
supposed to be
into it.
coffee mugs on. It's gonna look nicer. Trust us.
Yeah, when I want to, hopefully there will be a
Merch
video
coming.
element
Always
to this.
fuck.
Yeah, I want to have some new coffee mugs. I do really want to get the coffee mugs in production. That shit's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be super dope. But
yeah, I mean, I actually saw on the Black with No Cream Facebook group that you were talking about podcasting, and I started my own podcast kind of too. So I'm getting into, I feel like everyone's getting into podcasting and starting it now.
It's great.
I'm seeing a bunch of people I'm following doing it. And I wanted to do it. I'm not saying I'm doing it because I'm seeing a bunch of people I'm following do it, but I've wanted to try this platform out for a long time. And you posted something about how you just picked up these headsets, which are cool, and that you're looking to start the podcast. And I also replied to that saying, one, I'm down to be on it, and you're down to be on mine. And I knew I was coming to LA, so cool.
No,
this is one of the biggest reasons that I enjoy doing what I do is the fact that me and you can sit here and we would have never met. There's no chance we would have ever met if there wasn't such a thing as social media.
It's the craziest thing in the world.
And
or
me
content.
and you, content. And me and you are probably into very similar things, and we could help each other out, or just talk about cameras and stuff with each other. Whereas if I was just forced to meet people at the bar, at the restaurant, or down the street, or just not everyone's always into what you're into.
No,
so it's
never.
a weird way.
But I think that's
a
the
really
power
cool
of,
way. Yeah.
That's the power of all this, and I think that's the power of like the community too within Black with No Cream. Because I'm gonna keep talking about, because I think that there's gonna be people listening to this that are not in the group, and they're gonna be trying to figure out what the hell I'm talking about. With it being a private community, it's a space where I feel like we can all like actually know each other. You know what I mean? Because for some reason, using Facebook as an outlet, people are not trolling on Facebook because they feel like that's real life. Their accounts are their real life. Like this is, you can see my family on here and shit. So they don't want to run their mouth. And I think that that's the benefit to having it in Facebook.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think that we're lucky that the internet connected us in this, and I think what you do is really dope. So I'm glad to have you here and in my fucking house, and we're just able to chop it up.
That's what's so cool is that through what I do, I'm able to meet other people who do similar stuff.
Hell yeah.
And it opens up all these cool doors. Literally and metaphorically.
Yeah, for sure. And I think
like I've never been to LA before, and I would have not known anybody in the city, but it's cool that I can come here. And some dude on Instagram offered me another cool creator offered me like, hey, if you ever come to LA and I'm out there, you can sleep on my couch or do whatever.
So sick.
And that's cool that I don't know anyone here really, or I've never been here. I shouldn't know anyone here. No. But I can come out here and kind of have the helping hand of people who know me and I know them.
Yeah, and that's
what you were saying too about.
Because I think that comes from like, for me, I come from like a music background, and back when we were kids, we'd be in these bands and we'd go tour. We'd literally pack up into like a 12-passenger van, and we had our little like punk rock bands, and we'd travel around the U.S. and play shows, right? We'd been to Detroit. We've been to these places where...
Where'd you guys go? The Shelter?
I don't know. I'm telling you, this is like DIY in a basement of someone's house, like a punk house type shit, and you play for like 30, 40 people. But we would sleep on people's floors, and what was dope about that to me was this is before the internet was like allowing you, like it didn't really, there was message boards which were cool, and we could connect on that way, but we couldn't really connect.
There
on message
was no
boards.
Instagram.
No. So like
forums were back in the day. Forums
was
were,
it?
Yeah.
But you only know the forums in your certain city, and then you would like try to tap into another forum or whatever. But when we tour, you stay with these people and you meet these people by coincidence.
Yeah.
And then those people become your best friends. And anytime you come through, like I could pull up to a majority of cities now.
Yeah.
Text someone and be able to like link up or get have 3 hours of my day taken care of because
that's
someone,
really cool.
you know what I mean? And that's what I think you're going to find more as you travel, as this channel's blooming for you in Michigan. You're able to pull up in different cities. Like you already said, like a majority of your audience lives in the state. So the next thing you do is tell people you're at a mall and like they come Jake Paul. And you're
yeah, I'm not there yet.
No,
people ask me like, why don't you do meetups? I'm like, okay, guys, nobody would come.
But it's like it's a weird idea, but like people are listening to you, people care, and if someone could go pick your brain for an hour, it'd mean the world to them. I mean, it meant the world to me when I did that to my cousin. I would try to pull up on my cousin. He made films when I lived in Iowa, and I wanted to like ask him just everything, and he was offering me to come and have a coffee, and I'm like, yes, like you know what I mean. I don't know, but that's kind of the majority of like where I think this is going to be and what these podcast episodes are going to be, which is cool because it gives me something to look forward to, is being able to pick your brain and figure out how the fuck you got to like right here. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's your birthday. You just want to come to LA. Like a lot of people don't get to do that type of shit and also be a creative and make content while you're here or, you know, enjoy what you've done. But I kind of want to go into, I want to know how it happened for you to find that creativity was what you wanted to do for the rest of your life. So before you answer that question, I want to go into like, when did you start finding creativity early? Like I want to know, like, were you in grade school? Where were you at?
Like since I was born, and since I could talk, I guess, just like always drawing stuff in elementary school, art classes. I know my mom probably has pictures I drew in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade hung up on the wall.
Oh, hell yeah. But I've
always been creative, and when I was younger, for sure, always playing video games, you know, like RPGs and stuff on the computer. And I'm not like I'm a big gamer. I don't want to paint it out like that, but and I remember like dying to read Harry Potter and reading like all the Harry Potters. I'm making it sound nerdier than it is, but all those things,
fiction.
Yeah, all those things, I think are super creative, like abstract outlets. Whereas I also enjoyed playing basketball and doing physical activities, and actually fitness is another thing I'm really like into. I worked at a gym not as a personal trainer, like a towel boy for a decent amount of time. But I've always been, art class has always been a favorite class of mine. Music, like those, probably because they're electives and they're probably everyone's favorite, for sure. Along with gym and whatnot. But just whenever I was younger, I was always really into that, and growing up in this generation, I'm a child of the internet for sure. So as I was getting in my teenage years, I'm always on forums. I started using Photoshop. I think my brother had downloaded it for some reason.
But before you got to Photoshop, were you, like when you were saying you were drawing in school, were you sketching? And do you think that by creating and doing design and like illustration got you into Photoshop? Like that was the transition?
You know what? I can remember there's this Boys and Girls Club that we went to, and I clearly remember winning I wanted to win. They had this token system, and they had this art contest one time where the best drawing would win, and I drew some Picasso ripoff type of like half split face, and I won like 3 tokens or something.
What did a token get you?
I don't remember, candy or something.
That's tight.
Yeah.
Damn.
But
Boys and Girls Clubs like Chuck E. Cheese, and
that was years ago.
Yeah.
I was really little, and I just remember I have a folder full of old drawings. I would enjoy just drawing these characters and stuff. This makes it sound like I was so much more into it than I was. I can't ever remember being like, it's not like I was super into drawing, but just as a young kid, I was always doing something creative.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to paint it like I was always super into drawing, because I'm really not, and I'm not good at drawing either. But I definitely have a folder full of like old little kid drawings I did, and I definitely remember always doing creative things like writing or drawing or reading or playing games, if you would consider that creative.
But then when you were getting into Photoshop, what was it that you were creating in Photoshop?
So then when I was I can't remember what age, just like when I was a teenager, junior high school, then me and my buddies were really into Halo, the video game Halo. And when you're playing those games, and Xbox Live, as you see, the Xbox Live.
Yeah, I got a water bottle in here that says Xbox. I'd never play. Terrible.
And back then, the internet was like forum days. Like everyone would go on forums. There was no such thing as Instagram yet, and I don't even think Facebook was just starting. I never really had a MySpace, but that's a different story. But those forums were really where everyone would come hang out, especially where you'd come hang out and like your clan or whatever would all play games together.
Yeah.
Halo games, or you'd go to the message boards, and it was like a big community. And so people would make these gaming montages and videos where you take the highlights of your clips and edit them together into some cool, like, cringy music. Now I think about it, it's like, I can't remember what music I used.
To put on YouTube? Or what were they?
No,
and
YouTube was hardly even a thing either.
So it was like
this was like
E-Bombs World
2006.
sites.
No, not even like E-Bombs World. On the forums. Like,
oh shit! Just
like
uploading.
there was a forum called Halo 3 forum. It was a really big website. Like the forums were popping.
Oh, for sure.
And I just got into editing those for some reason. It was just fun to do them, and because it was like the coolest thing ever. There was some really poppin' editors. And you'd be surprised, so many editors nowadays for vlogs and all these music video diss tracks.
Yeah.
All of these, like, especially with FaZe Clan, this is the same way that they came up. There was a few different
And who are they
eras.
again? I was going to say, who are the
FaZe Clan? I mean, I don't know exactly their
But I mean,
history,
like, what's like what kind of channel is that?
FaZe Clan are a whole bunch of gamers that came up through Call of Duty and MLG. Are you familiar with MLG?
No, I'm terrible at gaming.
Okay, so this was all like a big bubbling up in around like 2006 and maybe a year or two before and after of this thing called MLG, Major League Gaming.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And this is where, like, I guess esports kind of started to legitimize a bit. I don't know, computer gaming maybe was already before, but this is where Xbox and console esports started to legitimize.
Sure.
And they had their own specific rules, like of the weapon you start with and whatnot. And it was the legitimate way to do the game. But basically, there was a few different eras in games, I guess, that were like the hubs, like Halo.
Right.
And then after that, the Call of Duties came out, like Modern Warfare, which was the next popular one. That was probably the last game I've played, really.
Yeah.
Ever. I stopped playing games like a few years ago. Like, ever since whatever Modern Warfare 2 came out, I stopped playing video games. Just basically, I just don't have time.
Yeah, no shit.
And I don't really have the urge to anymore, which is weird. But around those times, along with everyone getting on and playing all day, and you have like your Xbox Live friends list, you'd go on the forums and there's recognizable names and recognizable people, and you can still watch these all on YouTube.
Oh, I believe it.
Of people just making Halo montages. And before Halo, I guess, was Counter-Strike, I guess, is where it all started. Yeah. There, I took it back.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think
but I didn't play Counter-Strike because I come from paintball. I used to do like competitive paintball, like the air bunkers and like doing the whole shit. And they had a Counter-Strike knockoff game that you could do on Steam. And it was like a paintball game. And it was the same shit, like where we would get on, everyone had their clans, and it was real people in the community of paintball. And you would get together and play with each other online, and you would just be like, damn, when I get to Chicago, I'm going to talk shit to this dude in real life. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
I remember I used to play with this one kid every single day. We must have been like best friends on the game.
Is that crazy?
And then one day we just stopped playing together and never talked to this kid. I don't know
who
you were
with that person every day.
Yeah. We would always hop on Xbox at the same time for some reason and play for hours.
But
I don't even know who this person is.
So like the gaming to you, like doing that, it was community driven, but you feel like you really enjoyed creating these highlights, and that was the payout that people would respond to that?
So what happened was at the time, I don't remember exactly all these because this is getting back. It's like 9 years ago almost. 9, 10, I don't know. And at the time, I forgot why my brother had downloaded Photoshop for some reason. And like mixtape cover designs were also really popular. And there was other forums for like all these forums, you know. And you would make these highlights. I also felt like I was really good at Halo, so I wished I could record my own, but I had no idea how to record my own screen.
Right.
Or yeah.
How are people doing it back then? Were they literally filming it with a video camera?
No, you had these some people did. Which
Yeah,
is
I believe
ghetto.
it. Yeah, for sure. That's tight. That's super tight that they're just sitting there
Excuse me.
shooting the TV.
Sorry, I've been losing my voice. But yeah, people would film their with this capture card system.
Oh, okay, right.
Which must have only been a couple $100, but to me that just was like not a
no
possibility, you know?
No way.
It just was like not
You
an
just paid for
option.
the fucking Xbox. Like, how are you supposed to go in and get the card to be able to? That's like another $300 or $400.
Yeah, but you would go record these games, or you would record these games. Basically, other people would send you their highlights who had the capture cards. Yeah. Other people would send you their highlights who had the capture card, and you would edit them together because you could post them on the forums and get recognition from
Hell
it.
yeah.
And if you look up some of these, it was enjoyable to watch, and people would do like sick stuff. There were some sick editors who did some of these, and some of these probably got millions of hits. Like, it was a big thing.
Yeah.
I think I still have someone uploaded some trailer I did for someone's video that never got put out. There's this like semi-pro MLG player. This was like right around the time I stopped. But
They upload it to where? YouTube?
yeah, they
So you can
upload.
see
It's
the
still
shit?
on YouTube, and it has like 50 or 60,000 views,
God damn.
which is more views than I can get
Yeah.
on some of my videos. Still.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and it's so old, and people are all I can still read the comments sometimes, like, "Wow, this is great editing," or "This is over edited as heck," because I used to go too crazy.
But that was like your first, doing this was like your first experience editing, truly editing.
yeah, so I would edit in Sony Vegas.
Shout out to Sony Vegas.
Yeah. So the thing was, at the same time, there was on these forums, you had to have like a picture under your name, which was like a signature.
Yeah, your avatar or whatever.
Yeah, and so people would go ham designing these things in Photoshop with all these abstract things in their name. And there was also a whole bunch of resources on these forums. I think even one forum, there was like a whole currency system. If you offered resources or cutouts or Photoshop files, you could get currency points for the forum to unlock music on this section. It was like such a crazy
trade.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who the fuck
I think
is
they
building
were
that?
like bootlegging music too. It was like I think they were offering like downloads.
They're stealing music.
But you could only access that section like with the currency, so you had to be bought into the system.
So
already.
tight.
But
Savages.
yeah, it must have been illegal. I don't know.
Damn.
But yeah, I think my brother at the time was perhaps somehow he was in that other website with the currency system, and it all kind of came together. You know, you started using Photoshop. They had these random tutorials up, just how to create a little wave thing in After Effects,
Right.
or a little line in After Effects. And so it was super fun to create these intros for people, like so-and-so's Halo video. And you have this like little flare like go around it,
And they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
How'd he do that?
And so I started using After Effects. I started using Photoshop. I started editing videos to music
This is how long ago?
in Sony Vegas, almost 10 years ago.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And that's
Damn,
why
that's
people
fucking crazy.
and that's why people ask me, "You're so young, how do you know so much about editing?" I mean, I wouldn't consider myself an expert per se, but it's cuz I've been editing for 10 years technically,
That's
I've been editing clips for 10 years
Yeah.
cuz I started when I was like 15. So
that's a lot of time behind the keyboard, dog.
Yeah.
That's being an expert.
And I think a lot, and even though it's video game footage,
Yeah.
it's still kind of the same because you're third person
Yeah.
behind a person. And once the game started to get more evolved, like right around Halo 3, you could actually go out of body and have like a camera mode. You know how NBA,
Yeah, you can
NBA
move
has
around.
it?
Yeah.
And people do this with NBA too still now.
Right.
I think once you get older, you evolve out of this. But I think every 13, 14, 15-year-old is in some sort of community like that where
For sure.
where they're watching video game videos or editing video game videos. And back then it was forums, but now there's YouTube
Yeah.
and Instagram, so it might not be as it might be a bit different of a hub.
I think that's healthy. Like, I think for a kid to be involved in something like that their parents probably have no idea that they're in, and they're able to kind of explore their creativity in a space where they can't be judged at all, or if they are judged, it's like
it's not like you're using your real name on these forums.
But it's still like a place where like I feel like I thrived in those spaces. Like MySpace, I know you didn't do it, but I had MySpace, and I remember customizing my background and trying to figure out how the fuck people made it look super lit, and then trying to meet these people from all over the world, you know what I mean, and try to become their friends, and then you like falling in love with a girl that probably doesn't exist, or you're making your best friend with some dude that's just probably 45 years old, but you built these relationships with people, and you got to like really show off who you wanted to be, which I think is what we all act like Instagram is just normal life, but everyone literally will not post an ugly picture of themselves. They'll go to the app and they'll make sure they're skinny curated first, or they'll take out the, you know, all that shit. So I think that's like really healthy for us as kids to go through something like that. And I mean, obviously be on like a sports team or do something that's in real life, you're interacting with people. But I think more and more I'm seeing like my girlfriend's little sister get in, play Minecraft, and she had 3 iPads.
Exactly, Minecraft. People make Minecraft videos and they kill it on YouTube.
It's insane.
I think that it went away just because I got older.
Yeah.
But really, it didn't go away at all. It
It's
just
super
evolved.
huge.
Back then, it might have been Counter-Strike and Halo.
Exactly.
And now it's just Minecraft. And
Right.
and I still notice it because I follow some younger kids on Twitter who are kind of doing similar stuff, and they're doing interesting stuff. And I noticed that they're like 15, 16, and I noticed that all their like network of people is still doing that kind of younger kid type of graphics, and they abbreviate it GFX.
GFX?
Yeah, that
stands for
graphics.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But but when it's abbreviated that way, it just has this like
It's
connotation to me that it's
right.
like outer glows and neons and stuff. And it's heavily tied into gaming. And taking it back to that phase thing, if you look at any of these and the phase people, like I said, this is such a loop around, but they all have huge YouTube channels now. They're some of the biggest YouTube channels, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million subscribers each, and they all started out being professional MLG players at a competitive level. And that all happened right around the same time YouTube was ballooning, right around 2007, 8, 9. And so they just kind of transitioned into real life content, but they don't even play Call of Duty on video really anymore. They just transitioned into vlogging, and pranking,
and people just like enjoy their company and want to be involved.
And so they have that background in the Call of Duty game, and they probably still do many things with it, and their audience is gamer related. But if you ever look at any of their banners and artwork and editing style, it's heavily like tied to the gaming type of editing. There's a certain type of editing that is gaming type of editing.
Okay, so when you were creating content like that, were your friends in that? You're 14, you know what I mean? You're getting into high school and stuff. Are your friends as creative like that with you on those types of scenarios, like you're creating videos?
Well, my brother would be doing some sort of photoshopping for these forums too, and making little intros in After Effects too. A lot of hobbies that I picked up because my brother would do it first, but then he would get bored of it. But then I would just take it to like an extreme level.
Is he older than you?
Yeah, he's about a year and a half older than me.
What's he do now?
He's finishing up school, and he's working as an engine.
Engineer?
Not an engineer, like a computer engineer.
Oh, word.
Yeah,
nice.
Or computer science.
Is he still creating content like?
No,
like
he's working like he wants to do like computer science,
coding.
Like shit. I guess it's creating in some way. Yeah, because it is coding. I guess so, because he's making apps for sure stuff. So. But
not in the sense of like, that's very.
I guess so. It is creating because he's creating apps.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a bit more technical, whereas I hate coding. And
I hear you.
I hate everything that I got my degree for.
Is that what you're... Okay, so then...
I got my degree in information technology.
Which is coding?
It's basically... It's like the sister degree to computer science or engineering.
Okay, word.
It's information technology, so the technology around like this stuff. So my classes would be like security, like network security, Java, coding. What's the object oriented coding? That type of classes.
Okay.
So, it's all in that type of field.
So so we're in college right now but in high school I want to. What else did you do?
You're saying, did I have any people that were
like... Like what did you said you played sports and you worked out at a gym and shit.
Well, so like I said, so a lot of my hobbies in my life, it would be because my brother like found it first, I guess, because he's older than me. He's ahead in life in 1 year, so he stumbles upon things first.
Right.
And then as maybe he would abandon them, I would just hold on to a lot of them and just, I don't know.
Play with them?
Maybe we share the same DNA, so maybe we have.
Well, yeah, but I mean, what he's doing is cool, and you're coming up behind him and being influenced that way.
Yeah,
you know?
but I mean, like, whereas he stopped using Photoshop, I just kept using it for like.
Right.
But so I thank him for that. But I mean, I didn't really have many other friends that were super into that. I had my buddy that was also super into Halo too.
Yeah.
And so all three of us would just get together and talk trash at each other.
Yeah.
Talk super trash to each other.
Would you? What were you playing Halo on? Is that an Xbox?
Yeah. So when we had the chance, he was always getting his Xbox taken away, and so
fuck, I forgot about getting your shit taken
yeah,
away.
his parents were super strict, but when he was able to get his hands on it, he would bring it over and we'd all set it up in like different rooms. We'd play the match, and then as soon as the match ended, everyone would pop their head out of the rooms and be like, "You suck,
like
man."
talking shit.
Yeah, like, wow, I can't believe you thought you could do that one.
Dude, I never got it. Like, gaming, to me, I bought an N64. That was like my first thing I ever really played on, besides like the early ass Nintendos that my cousins had and shit. But the N64, got Zelda, saved up all my money for it. It was like fucking dream come true. I'm sitting there like setting up in my bunk bed. I had a little TV. I'm playing it, and then right away I was just like not into it. I just couldn't figure it out. Like, I played the whole game. I'm pretty sure I beat the game, but after that I never got another game, and would always find like, I don't know, I'd just be on, I think it was music that kind of carried me through it, but my music was my replacement for the Halo shit, and I feel like I was getting the same thing out of that. Like, I was building community. Yeah. We were sitting there trying to become better at something. We're working very hard at it. We're consistent with it. So I think that we're like the same in that aspect, I guess, as coming up or whatever. But I guess as you're coming out of grade school, did you have anyone kind of like not grade school, as you're creating these videos and doing the stuff on the forum, do you have anyone trying to pull you back from that, like saying that shit was too, you shouldn't be doing that?
No, because it wasn't even something where I would have to tell anyone I was doing it.
Yeah, you just
it's
clocked
not
in
like,
on your own.
Hey mom, I made this Halo video if you care, and I posted on this forum.
Right.
You know, it's
they
not.
have no idea.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't. But it wasn't like I was. It wasn't even that I was trying to keep it a secret. It was just.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need to. It never came up in conversation in that way. But like you were saying earlier, my buddy. I mean, we're all kind of into the same things, and they would no idea, but he wasn't into editing and creating of the softwares. And I mean, oftentimes he would just hit me up and be like, "Can you make me this logo for this thing? I know you're super genius at this stuff." But the people that had the same interest as me were not in real life. They were all on these forums.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's where the people that had that's where I was like getting exposure to the people that had the same interest as me, was in these communities, in these forums that I would be on a lot of the day. It was where I would hang out all day. Yeah. You know? And
no, for sure.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be hanging out with people that had, I mean, I would be hanging out, but we just go do normal stuff.
Yeah.
But or when I'm in school and in class, I'm like totally focused on different things, and I'm going class to class and doing normal stuff and growing up. But at the same time, I'd be hanging out. You have like your online life and your in-person
100%.
life, you know? Not like you're trying to keep it shady, separate, but it just
was, because some people just don't get you entirely, and then you can. I mean, really, that's what YouTube is right now.
You
like,
have it now too. When you're sitting on your phone in the morning, scrolling through, you have like now me and you met in person, and I would say like we're cool, we're friends in real life.
No, I fucking hate you.
But not to speak too soon. But there's a lot of people that I only know online, and I would consider them, you know, kind of acquaintances or something. Yeah. But they're online at the moment, and it's still real life. But
no, it's like strange. It's strange how that.
It's like I have my family and my real life friends, but at the same, I'm like spending much more time in this other world.
I feel like I've had some of the most like real relationships through people online that I've never met in real life. Yeah. And I feel like those things I've learned a lot through those experiences, because it's people that could be in a completely different state as you, that's going through something completely different than you. And you know, I mean, your problems are this, their problems are that, you're telling about it. You would never be exposed to those problems because your friends live in the same fucking spot as you, that don't live in the desert, don't live in the mountains or whatever. You know what I mean? Where shit might just be different. But that's interesting. I want to you're
I feel like I didn't answer your question.
No,
What
you're
was
good.
it?
And I think that all I was interested in is like who were naysayers
pushing
that
you
had
back.
like who were people that might have fucked with you. But your parents.
So at the time, I wasn't trying to pursue it. My parents were always super supportive.
That's what I want to know, because you and your brother are both on this like. Did you have any other siblings? Was it just
No,
you two?
just me and my brother.
So you two are both doing this kind of creative shit, and you're fucking around with games and all this stuff, and your parents are obviously seeing this happen. But
Actually, they would tell me to like go outside and stop playing so much Xbox.
but I mean, I think
But
that's
I
your
think
job,
every
right?
parent would react like that.
I want to tell my girlfriend's sister, I want to tell her to like go outside and quit fucking around
Yeah.
the iPad. But like then low key, I'm like, yo, that's really dope. You just built that house by watching this guy's tutorial. She's like, yeah, and I can't wait till my niece gets
And
over here.
the
I whoop
thing
her ass.
is, I'm not trying to put any blame or whatever. But the thing is, if they would have been like stay inside and keep playing Xbox, I would have probably been like a millionaire like all these phase kids. You know?
I know. They'd be like, you need to train harder.
I'm still gonna get there.
Train harder.
But the craziest thing is, they just want the best for you. They don't understand. But in reality, if they would have been like keep playing that game because this whole esports thing is gonna blow up, and then you can do this, you're gonna become a millionaire off of this game instead of doing that. I mean, obviously they want you to be healthy. It is unhealthy to sit as long as you are, but that's the funny part about it, and that's how you learn those lessons, to listen to your gut and listen to yourself.
For sure.
Even though other people might want what's good for you.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to
It's right there. If I would have kept, if I would have, as crazy as it sounds, just keep playing Halo, it would probably lead into the same thing I'm doing now in a different type of way. Or, I'm not saying it would, but you get what I'm saying.
But you would have gotten involved in something.
It's an interesting thought that the thing that you thought was not going to be good for you actually ended up making some people millionaires
for sure.
really young.
Which is crazy.
Not saying I would have did it, but
what I think is cool
did.
is that you were doing something by cutting gaming footage. Obviously, it's super fucking huge right now. Like people are doing this every day and they're just crushing it off it. But by doing that, it got you doing something creative in a way that now was
online.
Yeah, it's different. And I think that kind of obviously transitions you into what you're doing
and
now.
with these softwares and the world of editing, which obviously has been going on way before these.
And you're doing the earliest shit, the earliest versions. Like think about what you're cutting on now to what you were cutting on before, and how much has changed.
Yeah, so like at Photoshop, like back in the creative suite, not the CC.
Yeah.
Like Photoshop 7.
Yeah.
Photoshop 8.
So crazy.
Or like After Effects. I don't remember which
the early ass shit.
Yeah, and Sony Vegas 2. Or I don't remember,
insane.
But now you're getting experience with these softwares. And the thing with any hobby that I found, and a good way that I like to metaphor it, is imagine there's already all these worlds of hobby. Like this is the history of football, and this is the history of editing, and they're huge, like ecosystems already. And since you're just born and you're growing up, you might not have wandered into those paths yet, but eventually you stumble onto something like I did, like the video game editing, and all of a sudden you're sucked into the ecosystem of editing, which already existed before you, and then you just start learning it. So it seems like coincidence, or it seems like serendipity that you bump into these things, but in reality, the things are all around you.
For sure.
Like think about the hobbies that you've ever fell into.
Paintball.
Think about how
I used to paintball all the time.
How coincidentally it seems like you fall into these hobbies every couple of years, but the thing is, they were right in front of us like the whole time.
Yeah. But those are, to me, I feel like those are the times where I learned so much about myself. Like by playing paintball, it sounds so nerdy to me as just as saying like, oh, I play Halo. It's like to everyone else looking out, they're like, you're a fucking nerd. And it's like, yo, but there literally
was real community.
Yeah, it was community, and we worked hard as fucking. I know you play football and you put on the pads and shit, but I put on the pads too, and I had like we had jerseys and pants, and we're playing, and it's like 105 degrees out, and we're playing, sitting there practicing all day long, and I'm working with teams to figure out how to move across the field to get in unison. You know what I mean? And that taught me my skill level from that. I don't know what the fuck that really transitions into now. I just assume that if there's ever an active shooter situation, I'll be better. I'll be better than most people. You know what I mean? Fucking please don't ever happen. But like I do think that those little moments in life get you to the next step. But that brings me to you now being, it's 2011 was your first video that you uploaded on YouTube?
Yeah. So
did you upload before that?
Yes.
So you deleted shit.
So that is a whole different story. about how the channel started.
How'd the channel start? And I don't want to do. I know you just. So Justin has his own podcast, and I'm
not gonna go like super.
Yeah, you don't have to, but I do. You can hear it in depth on his first podcast. He just basically kind of summarized his life. But I do want to know how it started, because I did a channel too, but it wasn't like I ever knew it was a channel. I wouldn't ever look at it like a home for something. I just posted videos, you know? So were you doing that, like just posting random shit, or?
So like in around 2009, 2010, YouTube was still such a new thing. And for some reason, I just enjoyed posting videos and getting views. That sounds like narcissistic, but they weren't videos of me. I just enjoyed being able to create something and share it and test if I was right or not, if it would get a lot of clicks.
For sure.
So, for example, a new Kanye West song would come out. I knew right away if I was fast enough. There was all these hip-hop blogs and hip-hop sites that were posting, like, it wasn't Hot New Hip Hop. It was some site that would be posting the newest songs at the time, and that was the way I was finding them. But I knew right away, like, 10 new songs would come up. I was like, these are all right. But this one, Kanye posted this new song. And Kanye was dropping all these songs at the moment.
Right.
I knew, like, I post this one up with this cool picture of Kanye, and I put Kanye West, whatever lyrics. I wonder how many views I can get.
Just to see.
Yeah, just to see.
Right.
There was no monetization. There was no like ulterior motive.
Right.
So that's the thing. There was no ulterior motive other than the pure satisfaction.
Right. That you just got like 30,000 views.
Seeing
in like
your
a
reaction. Yeah. And it has nothing tied with me, not my name on it. So I wasn't personally benefiting.
I've always
from
wondered
this.
who fucking uploads that shit. Like if I try to find lyrics real quick, I'm like, who's doing
little
this? Yeah, it's you. In Michigan, just loving Kanye.
So there was no like outward or ulterior motive or personal gain that I was trying to get, other than the personal satisfaction of knowing that I knew this song would get a lot of clicks if I was quick enough.
Hell yeah.
If I was quicker than these other people. But the thing when you do that type of stuff is you keep getting copyrighted.
Right.
So I would make like top 10 Drake songs or top 10 Drake verses. Not like it wasn't all music related. Oh, the funniest one I wanted to do, I did like Kanye West Illuminati exposed, and I just took a like really Illuminati screenshot of the music video. And in the video, I just wanted to see how many, me and my friends, the same friend like from the Halo days.
Yeah.
It was just a funny running joke that all this Illuminati BS was on YouTube and people ate it up.
Right.
So I was like, I bet you I could literally take a screenshot of this, put it up and put Kanye West Illuminati and then just type some
and people go ham.
Dumb thing. I typed, this is clearly Illuminati because there's 7 lines and blah blah blah, and then I just stretched the video out to look like it was legitimate, like 2 minutes.
And it was nothing, just to get clicks.
It got like just to see how stupid, how dumb people were, like if they would eat up this Illuminati stuff. I literally just made it up, and it got like 70,000 views back in like 2010.
Yeah, that was unheard of.
Which cracked me. It was crazy.
You're just sitting there for jokes, getting 70,000 views.
Yeah, so I had a knack for it somehow. I had a knack for understanding how. Yeah. Like I said, I'd been on the. I was a child of the internet. Mm-hmm. So, but you'd keep getting copyrighted, and it wasn't fun anymore. There was a certain point where I was like, I wanted the satisfaction like went away. I needed something that could be my own. I knew that I was only getting the views because it was Kanye West,
right,
or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
And I would have kept curating music, probably like top 10 rap albums, had I've been able to figure out the copyright, but I was too young to really understand
get the logistics of all that, right? So
at the same time, I also was smart enough to be doing some Ponzi affiliate, like those survey sites, where you'd get literally pennies.
I've tried so many times.
Yeah. 1 second, I'm gonna take
you're
sip
good.
of water.
I like those survey things that pop up, and then all of a sudden you're like, shit, do I want to try to get $100 at Sears real quick? And fuck, I'll try it. I've never got paid, and I feel like you're about to tell me you have gotten money after you've taken this drink.
No, so at the time, obviously, I'm sitting there, I'm like, it just seems like free money when you're not actually working.
Right.
So I would be doing these surveys. I think I saw on some forum or some blog post how to get free games or something. And I went through this whole very like complicated and logistical process of downloading all these softwares and auto fillers and fake email things. Like very complicated stuff for a kid to be doing, all to get like 2 to 10 cents back per hour.
So ridiculous.
And I would be filling these surveys
Hell
out.
yeah.
And eventually I think after the whole time of doing it, I got enough money to buy one Xbox game, which must have been like $50.
Yeah.
But the way I did it was after doing all the surveys, I read something that you could make more if you refer other people. If you refer other people and they start doing surveys, you get their money.
Hey.
And so that's basically what affiliate marketing
For
is
sure.
right now, which is how many people make their living.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm over here in the primitive stages of the internet, basically doing affiliate marketing, but not knowing it to get video survey points and video and an Xbox controller. And the way I would get people to refer to my site is I knew how to get views on YouTube. So I would take the latest game trailer that came out on, what was that site, like GameReviews.com or something?
No idea.
I don't know. There was really, really popular game news sites.
Right.
So I knew like the new Fable game is coming out. And so I would take the trailer, I would download it somehow, which is still, I guess, pretty smart.
Fucking ahead of you were ahead of the curve on everything you're talking about right now. This is crazy. What year was this?
This is so bad too.
2009, 10?
Something around, like before I started, like maybe 2009.
Yeah, no one was doing that then. That's crazy.
I'm sure they were.
But I mean, the kids that...
It is relatively early. So I would download these things, and I wrote up this whole blog, and I was using Blogspot because it was a free thing.
Yep.
And I wrote up, the Blogspot was just one page that I set up, like funneling you into the affiliate thing. Like,
this is so smart. Fuck, this
which sounds so smart now that I think back. I didn't know how I was doing this.
Yeah, this is tight.
It took me years to start doing it on my own stuff.
Right.
It would basically funnel them in like, this is completely legitimate. Basically, you're going through these survey sites, and here's all these programs you can download to just fill in fake info.
And you're just teaching people how to get free games.
And if you just use my link to sign up here, and you can get free games. And then you'd be like, look at all these pictures that people got with their free games, and they would write the website's name. And so I put up the video, and every video I would put up, I just went mass with it. I started like taking every popular video and putting it up, and in the link of the description I would put like, find out how to get free games here. And so all the videos I was putting up were gaming related, like game trailers.
Right.
And I think like one of them did all right because I was first on it. I was the first person to post like one of this new game's trailer. And you'd always tag them super high quality,
Fuck
HQ,
yeah.
HD,
Yeah.
And the video was like 360p.
Yeah, HQ, bet fucking 4.3. So
I'm sorry to anyone. I was a demon child. Now that I think about
but
it.
you get caught in these sites, and it's worth it because you're gonna do like 2 or 3 of these funnel sites, and then eventually find what you were looking for.
This whole thing must only last like 6 months. But
did you make money?
So on the videos, I started looking at my account. I was like, whoa, what? People actually like signed up for this. And even though it was only like $2 or something, it still feels really magical and good to like log into the account after not doing anything and see the numbers go up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Whoa, $10.
Right. So this is where it starts.
So I think like in total I got like $50 before YouTube kept copywriting, and then you can't upload anymore.
Right.
And so I was like, dang. I was like, well, and I got my game out of it.
Right, no shit.
And I was like, well, I still like really like uploading, but what can I upload that's my own? You can't slap my wrist on this on YouTube. This is my own. I made it from scratch. And I had my background in Photoshop to draw on, and there was many people doing, not many, but Photoshop was a niche that I saw had some sort of audience on YouTube already. There was maybe 1 or 2 channels that had a pretty decent audience. And there was a lot of graphics kids that had a lot of subscribers at the time, which was like 50 to 100,000 was like a million.
Yeah, insane. Yeah.
And so I just started by making the first video I ever uploaded was photoshopping a tattoo onto a woman's back. And I didn't talk.
This is on YouTube right now or no?
It's I unlisted it. It's on private.
Okay, so this is even before, because what I want to talk about is the first 2 videos on your channel currently, but don't spoil those because I want to reveal them. So this is on the way to those current videos
Yeah.
that are your like first video.
Yeah. So
Okay, so you've unlisted this.
So I unlisted it. I mean, not because there's nothing wrong with it really. It was just a 1 minute video sped up of me just doing the work in Photoshop, and it just fast forwarded to be 1 minute. And I would post them on these forums.
Yeah.
This is another thing. Like, so at the time, I think my brothers like wanted to start going to the gym, so I started going to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And this must have been when I was a sophomore in high school. And at the time, everyone would hang out on the bodybuilding forums. It was just this
is tight.
It sounds crazy, but the bodybuilding forums had a miscellaneous section that was like Reddit.
Right.
You know, it must have been as popular as Reddit.
That's fucking crazy.
Like everyone would go on the bodybuilding forums, and you would just basically, it was just all memes and all garbage and like really terrible content.
Yeah.
But I knew, and there was like a really terrible rep system where you could either give somebody green reps or negatives. And so you'd either rep them or neg them. And everyone had their points next to their avatar.
Oh,
and so you had like 5 to give out every day. So I would just post my link and I'd be like, what's up, guys? If any of you are into Photoshop or design, check this out. I'll give you reps.
You're going to pay them to watch.
Yeah, I'll give you reps.
For 4 or 5 views.
Yeah,
That's what you're...
Yeah.
That's so fucking
But
tight.
at the same time, I knew how to speak the language. Like,
Yeah.
I always knew how to speak the language on these forums because I was part of them. Like,
What's up, bro?
I knew the
Heaps.
inside jokes. I knew
Right.
the whatevers. So
it's easy for you to like kind of like chameleon yourself.
yeah,
and
I
sell
knew
your-
what an outsider would look coming in trying to advertise and just get slammed like on Reddit versus like an insider.
Right.
Like,
So were you seeing people come to...
So people would come in like 10, 12 people like, nice job, nice man. And then I just rep them. But the thing was, the forum was really popular, and believe it or not, there was people that were interested in Photoshop there. So I must have got a couple hundred views.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I just kept doing that. And then someone, I think, said in one of the comments of the YouTube videos, that's cool, but why don't you show us how you did it? I'm like, oh, he's right.
Wait, so what were you doing? What were you showing them? I
The
thought you were
tattoo
showing
thing.
them. But I thought you were
No.
showing them photoshopping.
But I didn't really show how I did it. You know, I just
okay.
did it and then fast forward the video.
Right,
and
like super
upload it.
fast. Like you
Yeah,
can't even...
it's like a compilation.
Okay, I
You
got
know
you.
when people do those graffiti arts?
Yeah. I got
and,
it.
or when people do those drawings.
Yeah.
And you just see like
Right,
the time
right.
lapse.
So you were just not talking and not showing like
No.
what tools you're using and things like that.
Yeah, it was just
Gotcha.
like a time lapse of
Yeah.
the thing happening. And so someone said, why don't you like tell us how or like walk it through?
And your mind was blown.
I don't even remember if that's why I started doing it. Because like I said, I had been aware of the other channels.
Yeah.
But I did. So the next video, maybe my second or third video, I made a tutorial. I figured out how to make it. I had already had the ScreenFlow program.
Damn, they had it back then.
Mm-hmm. I was using ScreenFlow in 2011.
ScreenFlow is a program that if you guys are interested in using, it's what would you say? You just turn it on while you're trying to capture your screen. You can.
I would say it's the best screen recorder for Mac. If you're on Windows, I mean, you can always use QuickTime.
Yeah.
I just really like ScreenFlow. I don't know. I was using ScreenFlow. If you have Mac and you're really trying to record your screen, it's a good one.
Yeah, I liked it. I had a version of it a while ago, and I liked it a lot. Otherwise, I've used QuickTime. But I think on podcasts, I can post shit in the description, right? I'll just do a link to something.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'll
But
post it. So you're using ScreenFlow, capturing, you started making your tutorials.
Yeah, so it allowed me to capture my screen. And I was just talking straight into the desktop mic of this
Did you have the mic that had like the long like pole?
No, like the MacBook, like the 2000.
Shit. Yeah, okay, I got
I think it was like a 2007 or something.
Right.
I don't remember. It was a MacBook that we'd had for a couple of years. It was like the family MacBook.
Hell yeah.
It was like that kind. I know it's just a monitor, but you know how it has an internal mic that picks up just like this laptop does. And it sounds terrible.
Right. Hello guys.
I was just talking right into that. I'll just wait till nobody was in the room.
Right, so you could whisper into it,
Yeah,
like explain your
Yeah.
tricks. Wow.
And I would do it, and it was so bad because if you've never tried speaking to yourself and recording it, you realize that you're terrible at speaking, or it's just uncomfortable.
For sure.
So I think I meticulously cut out like 100 things, so that you probably hear so many cuts. And my voice was so monotone and so like zombie.
Post that bitch. You got to do a flashback.
It's still up.
Oh, I thought you said you unlisted this.
No. That's the the little time lapse video is not up.
Oh, okay.
But my first tutorial is still up. And oddly enough, my second tutorial is still my most viewed video.
That's what I was gonna see. Damn it, you fucking revealed it, because that's what I liked, is that I looked at it, and on August 22nd,
6 years ago or something, 5 years ago.
6 years ago, you posted a video, and it has 36,000 views now. And
No. Oh, that's the first video.
And that has
I got
13 comments. And then your second fucking video has only like 5 days later you post it, and it gets 672,000 views currently. I mean, I don't know
so that one just hit the lottery in the search over the years.
Right.
So it's the worst video I've ever made.
It wasn't. I mean, it was whatever.
It's really bad.
Was that the egg one?
Yeah. So basically, I guess. So that's the thing. I just knew what the right topics kind of were to do, or I had a knack for
at that
it.
time.
I had it. Yeah. I guess I always had a good sense of like, what do people want? Because at the same time, I was always I was in the community and talking to the community.
Right.
So it's not like some stranger coming in.
Just
like,
trying to
what do
figure it
you
out.
guys want, and what can I make content about?
Yeah, you were a user.
I was a user, so I knew exactly what would hit.
Well, and what's funny is because that tutorial, basically, you took a picture of some eggs, and they were in color, and then you masked it out so that
I knew that's a core.
One egg was in color and the other was black and white, which is funny because at the time I remember all the girls in 2011, I'm in college, and all the girls are taking the photos with their fucking point and shoot, and some of them would have that feature where it would make just like one person in blue or
color
pink
splash.
or something. Yeah, and they would use that, and that was super hot. So it makes sense that that video popped, because at that time you have all these girls utilizing that fucking effect, and then everyone's trying to figure out how to do it too. You know, that's so funny because all these people are banking off of you to figure this out.
Yeah, and it's not like it popped though right away.
Yeah, I believe it.
Somehow like it got a lot of views over time, but I can't ever remember looking at it and saying, "Whoa, it has a lot of views."
Right.
It must have been real gradual. I think I can actually look in the analytics.
Well, you can see that?
Yeah, I
on
can
YouTube?
actually see if I look into it, but I clearly remember it's not like they blew up right away. They actually I don't remember how many views they got. I was just banking on like the 1,000 views I could reach by just promoting them on the forum and other things. But once I did that, I mean, so that was my first 2 videos, and then somehow I don't know why, I just kept making one every couple of days. And I realized that I stopped posting them on the forums because I realized that all the people that were coming from there were just kind of like not interested in that completely. They were just more interested in their like bodybuilding jokes.
Yeah.
But I did also realize that, there's an audience out there already, and I started to get into the community that was available on YouTube.
That's what I was gonna say. So as you start posting more, you're just like posting, you're getting some views, you're finding that's interesting. Are you seeing that people are like starting to engage, and you're seeing them come back? Like, are you building a fan base, quote unquote? You know?
I'm getting like my first 100 or 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And so, no, they were definitely not fans at all.
But I mean, they're interested in your shit,
but
which is.
I was getting like regulars at the time. So they must have been someone that was interested. Yeah, like regulars at a restaurant.
Right, for sure.
Yeah. So they must have been someone that was interested in learning Photoshop or photography at the time. And they're probably all gone from my channel now.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we'll get into that.
If only they knew.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But.
Well, no, because I've heard you talk about that, and I don't want to repeat your fucking podcast,
it's such
because
a long
you've talked
story, but
about
it's the
this.
same story. But
No, I know,
I
but-
say it differently every time.
But I have like things that I'm interested in, because it's like you started there, you start posting, you start seeing response, which has got to be like, we all get excited. If you post a fucking photo on Instagram, everyone wants a lot of likes. They're interested in likes and comments. That's it. I remember when I used to be like, God, if I could just have 5,000 followers instead of 1,000, that'd be so sick. And then it's like you get it, and you're like, I want 10.
I always wanted the K. I always wanted 10K.
For sure. And now it's like,
and I have it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you start building
it's
up.
not that cool.
I know, it's not that fucking cool. It's the same shit still. It's just like, okay, that's it.
Yeah.
So you start building up the channel, and then I guess, would you say, I know in your podcast you had talked a lot about you would stop creating and then start up again, and then you would see a hit from that, and you would notice that brought down like your viewership, and your subscribers would go away. And obviously that makes sense. If you stop anything, they're going to go away. I noticed that with my channel too. Like on Instagram, if while I was on tour with Q, that's where I got majority of my followers. And as we're off tour, and all of a sudden I'm posting more LA content, they're like, what the fuck is this?
I didn't sign up for this.
Right.
Yeah.
So they go away. And I know that that's a thing. So you struggle with that. But would you say what failures did you find? Would that have been a failure by stopping, or do you regret stopping at any point in time?
Yeah. So I can't say I regret anything specifically, but
Yeah.
I do think that, again, if I would have stuck on it, YouTube is blowing up at this time too, like 2008, 2009, 2010, or sorry, it was 2011. 2011 to 2013.
Right.
YouTube is blowing up, and at the time it was you got to remember how young YouTube is. So at the time I was getting into it as well too.
Yeah.
And I was starting to follow people on YouTube. YouTube basically like became my TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I have people that have been following on YouTube since 2011, since 2010, watching them that are still active and relevant
Right.
now. But nobody would have expected where it would be now.
No
so,
fucking way.
Yeah. So whereas now it's like the clear jump on it, obvious move. There's money out here and there's like things to do with it. When I started my channel, you couldn't have AdSense. It was a hope that maybe one day I can get AdSense off of this, but for now.
Did you hope for that? You thought that was a possibility?
Yeah, I did think it was a possibility. There was a partner program that you could get invited into if you were like a big creator.
Right.
But I was just fun. Okay, I'm not getting copyrighted for my content. It's just fun creating something from scratch. I really can't tell you why I kept doing it regularly because I wasn't earning money.
It had to have been people watching. That's it.
It
like
must
that
have
thrive
been.
of like you're so hungry to see them.
It must
keep
have
coming.
been that. Well, this dude's here now. I gotta keep providing for him.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Do you think that at any point in time you could have ever like? I look at it like this. Like, say we're recording this podcast right now. It's my first podcast, and midway I decide
right?
it is okay. Let's say that this is the truth. Midway through, I'm just like, fuck this, and I just stop recording. I'm like, dog, I don't want to record the
That'd
podcast
be a
anymore.
good one.
Wouldn't that be crazy if I just stopped? And what if I moved away and never did anything creative again? That's so crazy to me. But I feel obligated to do this because I'm already that deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would be a big change, but I think that stuff doesn't happen so often because usually people fall into things because of their character and who they are.
For sure.
You know? So obviously I had this outlet to share naturally, and this is how it just happened to be coming out at this time. But like I was saying, any failures or regrets. So AdSense was like a fun little thing to dream about, maybe getting a couple bucks and getting invited into the partner program. And I do remember that I was kind of hoping to get it one day. But you got to remember how much work you're putting in. I wasn't expecting it, but it was a fun little goal.
Like a goal, for sure.
Yeah. But then they opened it up to everybody. So I can clearly say I started YouTube with no expectation of that. But then they opened it up to everybody, and you could just start monetizing your videos no matter who you were. And I think I got my first. It doesn't pay you until you get $100.
Okay.
So I think the first month I got like 12 cents and then $10.
Right.
And then after like a whole year, I finally accrued $100 and I got that check. But it feels like free money because it's money that you're not doing work for.
You were doing it anyway. You were already creating anyway.
That's why it was only like $10 or $100, but it feels like free money.
Right.
Same thing with the surveys. That's why I'm putting in like extraordinarily more amount of effort in than it's coming
for
back.
$50.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like that,
right?
Because it feels like, well, I'm getting paid to do this.
No shit.
But the failure was when I'm getting older at this point, you know, and I'm going into college and I'm paying for college and I need to get a job because I just feel like a bum if I don't have a job. This is the thing where you're listening to society.
Oh,
It's
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, so it's like, okay,
sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
I don't know if you can hear these. Please.
Yeah. If you guys can't tell, we're in the awesome city of LA.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Which is actually awesome.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about the sirens, but the view is dope.
Yeah. But you just start to feel like, oh, I need to get a job because I'm a loser if I don't get a job. I'm a bum if I don't get a job. Some kids get a job at 16. Whereas really, if I would have just kept playing video games or whatever, I would have been doing better. A job. But so, you know, I get a job. I'm going to school. So I'm trying to balance all that.
What was your job?
So my first job, I worked at a gym.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Towel boy.
I'm saying towel boy because it sounds derogatory, but they called it operations. So basically,
Linens cleaner.
No. I say towel boy because I did fold a lot of towels.
Hell yeah.
But you're basically operations, like hospitality stuff.
Right,
like
right.
imagine at a hotel.
Yeah, for sure. You just want to make sure
Because
the spot's dope.
the gym I worked at was Lifetime Fitness. Have you ever been there?
Nope.
It's
that a
basically
Midwest
like,
thing?
what's that?
Is it a chain or is it like?
It's a big chain. Yeah, it's
Okay.
everywhere. I don't know. There's probably one in LA. I don't know. Think of it like a LA Fitness.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
like with locker rooms and steam rooms and
Right,
pool,
right.
and so towels, and so I was the dude making sure the laundry was getting done
Hell yeah.
and folding the towels, and then at the same time making sure the upstairs was clean, putting the weights back.
This is in high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because at the same time, like I said, my brother wanted to join the gym, and then I joined the gym, and then I just kind of fell in love with
Being there.
and then the whole bodybuilding forum days. And
Yeah.
that was like my new halo.
So you were like super swole back then. You were getting after it like that.
I wasn't super swole, but I mean, I had a decent
Little thing.
physique.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess.
right. Did you play? What sports were you in?
I don't even want. No, I played a little basketball. Lifetime
You did
Fitness has a
basketball.
basketball court. The goal is always like 6-pack abs, and there was all these guys on the bodybuilding forums that
Yeah.
were like the gods, and it's what's so funny is
The
you have
fucking gods on the bodybuilding forum.
Yeah, it's so funny because you have all these guys like flexing and like trying their hardest to impress all these other dudes. out there.
Yeah, it's like,
that,
what
that
the
nobody
fuck?
cares about each other.
No.
like nobody cares in reality, but. Like when you're walking down the street, nobody would care, but these dudes would trash talk each other because of video
For
game.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
get the F out of here, dude. You're only 5'10", bro, and you weigh this much. I'll deadlift you.
It'd be like, okay, what are you talking about? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
So people would get in like these hated like arguments about who has a better physique and all this stuff. But no, you just work out. I mean, like I said, you just fall into this hobby and working like fitness and working out and bodybuilding and then later like nutrition and diet and all these different lifestyles, and especially here in LA, like vegan, vegetarian.
Yep.
Like all these things already exist, but somehow you have to stumble into them.
Right.
You stumble into them by joining the gym. And then when I felt like I needed to get a job to, I needed to help out. I just was like, well, I'll get a job at the gym,
Fuck it.
And so that's basically a 9 to 5, whatever. So it's taking up all my time and school. And it's a minimum wage job. Like, I can't believe I would ever think it was such a great idea,
Is that crazy?
And no hate to anyone that's working minimum wage job because, I did it and many of us have all done it. But nowadays, I would never, I would always value my time to be more than that. I would never do that. Okay, here's the thing.
No, I'm the same way.
If your reasoning for getting the job is because you need it to support your family or something, that's awesome. The thing was, my reasoning to do it was not coming from the right place. It was not like I need to get this minimum wage job because I have this kid. I need to feed him. It was, society tells me that I feel like a loser that I don't have a job right now. And
Like
I
I'm
need
living
to,
off your parents' money.
Yeah.
Or sitting at home being a bum.
and I feel like people are judging me and I need to get a job.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go get this. I'm literally going to throw away my time, which is the most valuable thing, just to not be judged by society.
Well, I think it comes down to a lot of people. They don't have, they haven't found the thing that spending their time outside of the job is valuable. They look at it like, if you're not at work, you're going to go out and play, you're going to ride your bike, you're going to fuck around and not do anything.
That was part of it,
You know what I mean?
too.
And that's what a majority of parents are pushing you. Go get a job
Yeah.
because of this.
Yes.
And this. So then you're out there working for like, I think one time I worked for like $6.50 an hour. I think that was minimum wage or something. What was yours?
It was like 7. So I just remember getting lunch was always a mathematical situation where I was like, if we order this pizza, that's 2 hours of work.
Right.
Did I want to work 2 hours for this pizza?
No. Yeah, you have to think about it like that. And that's why I was always, because I worked, what were my jobs, man? Damn, I'm hearing that sound again.
Probably because your friend just came home.
Did they just walk in?
One of them.
Hold on, I'm going to pause this podcast for a second.
It might. Sure. Let's take a quick intermission, like H3 podcast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Bathroom break, water. I got to refill my
Cool,
water.
I'm with that shit. All right,
Refresh
dope.
my,
Pausing.
but we were getting on a good point, I remember it.
Yeah, I'm coming right back to it. Yes, we are now back. Sorry for the interruption. There's an interesting surge. The house that we
we're
live
trying
in
to
is,
figure it
this
out.
house is so old. And what's crazy is that this is totally sidebarring onto what we were talking about, but this house is so old that we're recording in that like Robin Williams, Jay Leno, all these people like lived in here and like would practice their comedy because we live right by the comedy store. So they'd practice here and do a bunch of drugs and all kinds of other shit I can only imagine, and then go down there and practice their stuff.
Mess up the electrical circuits.
But I'm pretty sure nothing's been updated since back in the day. So for some reason, my interface is just like getting this weird surge. We were having the issue before we started. But anyway,
we had a whole interesting podcast trying to figure out how to get rid of the noise, like a 1 hour long.
It probably was.
That
like,
was probably be a great listen. We were saying
it really sucked for me because I was like completely embarrassed that my first podcast was having this much fucking problems. But story of my life. So we're back. We got water. We're fueled up, and before we had some issues, we were talking about like growing up and working those jobs and deciding if that was like.
Yeah.
Now looking back on it, is it worth it or not? But at the same time, like, were we doing anything that would have made sense for us to not be working those jobs? Because I think you're right.
Yeah. What I was saying was, now I can reflect on it and be like, clear idiot move. You were worth more. But I think you have to do. I think part of me also was. I don't want to fully blame it on it was society's fault.
No.
Part of me also felt like I needed to get a job because I wasn't technically doing it. I was kind of doing these seedlings of things that would later turn into something, but I really wasn't doing anything at the time. I was just going to school and not doing much work-wise to generate money.
Well, and I feel like going to these jobs, whether you're working as a towel boy at a whatever, I worked at a golf course once picking range balls. Like, no matter what, it still starts to train you on how to be somewhere and follow someone's rules, which is important, especially if you ever want to own your own business. You need to know how to do that, teach people to follow those rules. So you have to kind of play that part, and I think it's good for people that have these types of jobs.
And so it's easy for me to say nope. I would never done it.
It is fucking crazy now because you know your creativity is worth a lot. You know what I mean?
But I do think that you do need to do that in order to learn those lessons and also learn, like, I never want to come here and fold another towel again. I need to figure something out.
Yeah, exactly. That's crazy. But, so from all these moments, I know that fucking problem with my interface kind of fucked shit up.
Yeah. Well, we were getting into. Were you getting into when I started to take it seriously?
Yeah, like, well, I guess like you're finding joy. You're finding joy in uploads. You're finding joy in having people see your work. It's interesting to you that that's happening. Then you're starting to see the possibility of making $1, right?
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden they open up the program, you start have this opportunity to make money. So is that the point where you start getting kind of like eager to create more because you're like, fuck, I can actually make money off this?
No. And I remember what you were saying.
What?
You were saying what were some of your failures, and we're talking about taking breaks and how taking breaks can.
True.
So and I was getting into why I had to take a break. Was I had this job and then school and then work. I quit the gym and I started to work retail. I only worked at the gym for 1 year. It was absolutely, I don't think anyone could endure more than, well, many people could, but there's no way I could have endured more than 1 year. It was a really like laborious job.
I believe it.
Like physically laborious.
We're discussing when you
and
work
it was
out.
quite a disgusting job, I must say.
Sure. Yeah.
Like when you're working in a locker room. Okay?
Yeah.
Like,
no.
Nobody can talk trash to me. I literally started from the application. The only question she asked me was, you do know if someone poops in the shower, you're going to have to take care of it?
Poops in the shower?
Yes.
Who the fuck goes?
And I just thought, that's not going to happen. And it's not like you have to pick it up or anything, but my manager, I was this guy, there's the head of operations.
Yeah.
I would like turn on the faucet and he would hose it down.
Oh my God.
It only ever happened like once or twice the whole time we were there and like in the family restroom. But that was the only thing and that she asked me during the interview. She was just clear to let me know that
you're going to clean up shit.
You do know like if that happens. And I was like, anyways, that makes it sound worse than it was because basically.
No, I mean that sucks.
And I got a free membership, but that was
fair enough
of the value of not that much, like $50 a month.
Yep.
But from there, I started working at Nordstrom.
Yeah.
Familiar with Nordstrom?
Yeah, for sure.
Again, because of my brother.
It's a trend.
So he was So I knew nothing about retail or sales at all. I clearly remember the interview. I worked in the shoe department. The interview was sell me this shoe, and I bombed it. I did it the worst
How
job
did do
ever.
it? Sell me the shoe.
I can't remember. I was just
Sell me
like,
the
this
shoe.
is it's really trendy, and it's got a nice color. And what brand is this again? And
Is it you're fucking hired?
No, I totally bombed it. Like,
They didn't give you the job.
I did absolutely terrible, and I think my brother's like, yeah, they said you were kind of green, as in like green.
Yeah,
like,
new.
Yeah, and so I think I still got in just because I think he was like, just hire him, he'll figure it out. Trust me.
Yeah.
And they're desperate in those type of jobs.
For sure.
The turnaround is crazy high, but I stayed there throughout as I was finishing college for the whole 3 years. And then when and I'm getting older this time,
Yeah.
and you do meet a lot of people at these jobs too. Like, you're working with a whole bunch of people. So your time just starts to get consumed in going to work. And working at Nordstrom was funner because it's like a commission-based retail job.
Right.
And it's not like I'm cleaning like locker
Shit.
rooms anymore.
Yeah, for real.
And everyone sees Nordstrom as this fancy thing. I did have to wear a suit to work and all that, which I hated,
Yeah.
and dress shoes. But it's it was a lot different. And what I'm even trying to get into is that there was a certain point where I just couldn't juggle anymore school, work, and I didn't know what I was creating on I just didn't have time to create anymore.
But during that time, you were active on your channel? You were creating
So
stuff?
I believe I took a break in 2013. I can't remember what the exact date was. I can find it, but I believe I took a break right when I started to need to pay for. I transferred from my local community college to the university.
Right. The price goes up.
Yeah, and so I didn't actively decide, but I just kind of got tired of. I didn't have a plan going into it, so at a certain time I was uploading all these Photoshop tutorials, and I just kind of got tired of doing it, and I stopped doing it. And you don't upload for a week and 2 weeks and 6 months.
It's easy.
And then a year. And also, this is not making you any money, and I need to pay. It's not like I actively thought that, but my time was naturally going to how the heck am I going to pay these school bills? So I'm just working and going to school and trying to pay. And I took a long break because I never really had a plan or anything going into it. So that's how I took that is one big, I guess it's not a failure, but it's a good learning point.
For sure.
Because
the importance of the plan, like having a plan, or
a lot of learning points about consistency.
Oh, right.
And longevity and coming up with a plan, and just a lot of learning points about how I think at the time I had built my channel up to 40,000 subscribers, maybe 50 eventually, which
before
is not bad.
Before you stopped,
just with the Photoshop stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But since I let it go for a whole year and I didn't have a plan, that all kind of just wasn't there when I came back.
Right.
And I still had a small audience, but I never really did it right, So I came back. You had 50,000 inactive subscribers, basically.
Right.
I would struggle to get 1,000 views. I would struggle to get 1,000 views, maybe, since I still kind of had a knack for getting into search. Maybe here and there I could get a video, but none of them were coming from my subscribers watching.
Right.
It was just me hustling
the
search and working at it. So at a certain point, I naturally gravitated back to it.
But would you say coming back, you're coming there, you have 50,000 people that used to fuck with you. Now you're coming back and only 1,000 of those 50,000 people are really
Something
looking
like
at your
that,
shit.
yeah.
Right. I mean, for easy math. But would you say that that's how do you face that challenge? Because that seems like the most defeating part is when you come back and you're like, fuck, man, I used to get all this love and now I don't get shit. Why the fuck should I even try to get back into this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What pushed you to do that? That's super interesting.
So, and it's not even like I used to get love. It's more like, you start to feel like people are looking like, did this guy buy his subscribers? What's going on? I started to look at the number like, what the heck? People are looking at me. It's pathetic that I can't break 100, 200 views on 50,000 subscribers,
Right.
People that are looking at this probably think this is pathetic.
But who are the people you're talking about? Because I like
nobody.
that. Yeah, but
nobody in particular.
But in your head,
myself.
there's somebody out there that's judging you.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's again, I think somebody's judging me, or I'm judging myself, Right. And I would also get comments too, like, man, how come this channel has X amount of subscribers, but it can't hardly get this many views. I even made a video, which I unlisted, explaining, when I was trying to pick up my channel, I made a video explaining, hey guys, this is why my channel does not get many views compared to the
Because you're that paranoid about it.
I wasn't paranoid, but I got the comment often enough that I just wanted to have a video to point them to.
Yeah.
Just as another piece of content. Another piece of content.
Right.
At least when that comment came, I could, because the comment would bother me if it was done in like a rude way or assuming way. Because people would always be like, not to be rude, but I think this guy bought his subscribers because of this or something, or
because they're trying to ploy the same thing with Instagram accounts right now. It's the same thing.
Some of the comments would get to me because I knew how much work I put into it, and there was a long explanation that I didn't feel like typing out every time. Like, no, what happened was
I dipped.
I started for this, and so the way this content works, it's very niche. And then I was doing I worked at this job for like 3 years, and I was figuring out this whole school thing, and there was just a lot of other stuff, and then I came back, and that's why a lot of it
is so funny that you even feel like you need to tell it. Fuck you, dude. I'm making these tutorials for you to become better at what you came here for a reason. You know what I mean? Don't judge me for having like a whack fucking ratio. Like, that's so crazy that you have to defend yourself to like, damn. Yeah. That's incredible.
It was such a long answer. I just felt like I needed to have one concise thing.
For sure. That makes sense.
I found myself
defending yourself.
I'm always checking the comments, so I found myself somewhere inconvenient, like in the middle of a workout or at the gym, and like, I need to type out a paragraph right now to this guy because I need to explain to him exactly.
You're like in line for coffee or for food and shit, but you're sitting there just staring at your...
No, see, what happened with... But basically, at a certain point, though, there came another time at my other job. So the gym job, lifetime, couldn't even do a year because it's just so
fuck that,
laborious, and that's the turnaround there is super high as well. But the retail job, it was a little more fun, so it kept me occupied for a couple.
Plus you get discounted clothes, right?
Yeah, which I never really used, to be honest. All the girls that worked there used it a ton. But I mean, I met some friends there that I'm still actually really good friends with, and I met a lot of cool people there. I did a lot of growing up there, to be honest, in that store for a couple of years. And also from going to being super green, eventually after like 3 years of all that turnover, I'm like the oldest person on the team, not in age. Yeah. Like I'm like the most, I have the most seniority on the team.
That's crazy.
Like I'm flipping around like all these registers, like all these newbies, like new team members. Like I'm telling them, push that button, F9, escape, throw this dollar in here. I'm counting all this stuff. Like, go get this shoe from there. The Nike, grab that Nike. This
that's crazy.
I would like I knew everything, and I had never sold anything before, but I picked things up really quickly. So they really liked me there. Basically, like the managers and all that, they really liked me there. But I never really wanted to move up or like go transfer to another store and be the manager and then the assistant manager, because I was just seeing it as a part-time job to finish school with. But what happened was, and we could do a whole separate podcast about the Nordstrom stories, but
start a sub channel.
There's this old lady the old ladies loved me because I'm super patient with them, because it's commission, so everyone else would be like real shark hungry.
Yeah, like, okay, fuck, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, and we worked at one of the smallest stores.
Yeah.
It's at the local mall, so we worked at one of the smallest stores. It wasn't super hungry as everyone else, and sometimes there's not many customers that came in. But like I had a regular old ladies that would come in, and like this old lady was just a widow, so she probably just didn't have many people to talk to, and she would come in every Sunday like dressed down, super dapper. And she would just ask me for one. She was so particular about her shoes. She's like, "Do you think this is like?" I would talk it through with her for like 2 hours, and I knew I was killing my commission by doing that. But for some reason, like I always used to actually kind of hate it. Like, I have to talk to Miss whatever for another 2 hours.
Drop her name.
But then I remember one day I was just having a really bad day at work, and she came in, and I was like, "Wow, this is like the universe speaking to me, because now I don't have to deal with anyone for 2 hours. I can just talk to this lady for like 2 hours." And I remember that one day I was having a bad day at work, and she came in, and I just realized all the other times that I was upset, I was like, I could have been helping customers. Like, I was like, wow, there's a different perspective to things.
But what's tight about that is like what you just said. All right, we go back to these jobs shaping us for what we have to do, and you look back at it now, be like, my time is not worth $7.25 an hour, $8 an hour. But you look at that scenario right there, and you were helping this lady in one form or another, whether she did buy the fucking shoe or she was just trying to
She
come up with an
usually
excuse.
did, but it was
She
never worth.
yeah, but like it's not worth all
the
that
energy
time.
I put in.
But like you did find a way to craft a way to sell this girl on something or to help her find something that fit her need, and that's what you do in these. I think that you do that very well. That shapes you to be able to cut that time from 2 hours down to 3 to 5 to 8 minutes.
I mean, I definitely learned about sales and I mean, not really that much, but I guess I did get a lot better at talking to people and more confident, because at the gym, you have to greet everyone and say hi, but nobody's saying hi to the operations guy.
Right.
They're like, I lost my key.
Yeah.
Or like they're going at you to harass you for something that's not under your control.
Yeah.
But here, you have to greet everyone that comes to you. And so just imagine standing in the middle of the mall being like, hi, how are you doing? Hi, how are you doing? Like, you have to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
So you lose that fear of like,
for sure, right away.
sparking the conversation really quickly. So it did help me in that way. I kind of like pushed me out of that shell.
Yeah, for sure.
And at the same time, I had always been like a super hard like eBay and flipper on these websites.
I heard you say that on your
and
podcast.
I had been I got into clothing through forums and like Reddit as well. This is like another hobby,
right?
Like clothing.
Well, that's why I wanted to know if you
like all these shops right here. No, see, like Nordstrom carries like Nordstrom brand.
Garbage.
Not garbage. No, Nordstrom. Nordstrom.
But
carries
nothing
brands.
that was interesting.
But
to you.
I was interested in all these like
Streetwear.
internet brands.
Yeah.
And I knew, and there was this there's this site called Grailed.
Yeah, I know.
And they popped up in New York, and so what they did was, there's all these message boards like Reddit. All these subreddits have buying and selling and trading sections.
Right.
So just like that store Round 2 down there.
No.
So just there, they buy, sell, and trade like vintage and hype stuff. So you have these brands that it's like a whole nother culture.
No,
I'm not
totally get
I'm not
it.
as into it as I am anymore, but you see it in the music industry all the time.
For
like,
sure.
Everyone wants. It's not really Supreme because I don't like Supreme.
But it's like
that.
vinyl. Like you want to trade and buy and find the best vinyl or get some rare.
But there's
version.
like these niche brands that I love, like the culture about it. And when you say you're into clothes, people look at you like, oh, you're into clothes, like you're a fashionista or something.
You want to look really dope.
But there's a whole culture about it, like the branding of it, just the culture of it. The people that wear this clothes, if you see someone in a certain outfit and you're like, oh, that dude's wearing such and such brand,
he fucks with this.
He knows, exactly the type of music he listens to.
Yep.
It's like its own little cult of culture.
I feel like that when I'm at the airport. I feel like I can, when you're walking, you just look at someone, you're like, oh, I know that we know like the same shit, or I know exactly what you're listening to in your headphones because of that hat or whatever.
Yeah, so I was getting into all these like niche men's brands, like Swedish and not like all these like Dutch streetwear and all these like niche brands that no one in your city would have, or like, none of the mall brands would have.
Yeah.
Here in LA, it's crazy. Like, there's tons of awesome stores that have them. And there's also, and so since I was buying it for myself, and I didn't have no money to buy these brands, I was finding really good deals for them. And at the same time, since I found such a good deal, I knew that I could make a margin flipping it too to buy more camera gear. But what I was getting to, I mean, that Grilled guy took all those buying, selling, trading sections that were on the forums, and he launched his own platform where everyone could buy, sell, trade. And Reddit like banned him off of there. He got hate at first, but now Grilled has like 100,000 followers on Instagram as like a media. It's just part of the culture. And now they style Playboy Cardi for his music videos and A$AP Rocky, and they have all the collection of all the Raf Simons and all that stuff. And I'm not into it anymore, but there was a period of time where I fell out of the design stuff. Yeah. And I was really into that culture.
Dope.
So I don't exactly remember why I said that whole tangent, but
fuck, man.
It was getting into. It was getting into. You asked me if I use my discount at Nordstrom. I think I don't really remember why. I know this tangent had to do with something.
I think it was about you. This is still going back to you stopping, and you had the jobs, and as you were working in retail, you started realizing that you wanted to do something different. I'm assuming that's what poked back at your channel.
yeah. Anyways, I can't remember exactly how I was gonna tie that in so
I know,
well,
I'm
but sorry
sorry.
guys. Hopefully, you got a nice little tangent about grilled and streetwear culture.
I'll put the link in the description.
I'm sure they know. But
I didn't. I'm an idiot. I knew Karma Loop. Did you ever use that? Karma Loop?
yeah, a lot of these. There's a whole YouTube community of men's fashion and streetwear channels.
Okay, word.
It's just as big, I think, as the camera
Anything.
community,
Yeah, for sure.
and the photo community, and they kind of intersect in a weird way too, because they're all vloggers.
Yeah, they have
and
to.
all these cameras. And there's different subgenres like sneaker YouTube and
Right.
clothing YouTube and high designer YouTube.
Goddamn.
But again, like these are all things that if I wanted to, I feel like I could, if I was still into those things as heavily, I'm part of those communities and I could make a channel and speak to them and kind
In
of
a certain,
and make my own channel and eventually like make somewhat of a successful channel
Right.
doing that. It's all, I feel like I would have got to this point in many different ways. But basically at Nordstrom, right, I had just gotten sick of that eventually too after 3 years, and working at the same place for a long time, like you can't work at the same place for a long time because things just start to go wrong, you know?
But this is at this time where you're coming to the end of Nordstrom. Are you
Basically-
about to graduate college?
Yeah, so basically I was weaning. I just couldn't do it because I was failing. I wasn't failing, but I really needed to pass these math classes. And I think once or twice I took statistics and I just did not study. I'm the type of kid I never studied.
Yeah.
So I always, I think I'm naturally pretty smart, but statistics is one of those classes where you can't just get by on
Yeah, it's
being
hard.
naturally pretty smart. You have to memorize the things.
Right.
And I was just so busy working that I just would not study, and I kept failing, and it kept wasting my money. And the worst thing was wasting the time. Remember how many days I drove to that class and sat in it. And there was just a point where I kept weaning off the hours at Nordstrom to be part-time. Can I just work 3 days a week? Can I just work 2 days a week? And because I couldn't focus on school, I knew I would not get a good grade.
Yeah.
If I
And you're already spending that much money. It's like,
working full-time, I just could not get a good grade. So, and I don't know why I had invested so much time and money into school. I needed to graduate. Everyone tells you should graduate and all that, but we're not going to get into that. It's a whole separate discussion.
for sure.
So I slowly weaned off to 2 days a week. Everyone hated me because no one else had the seniority to do that.
To be able to flex like that.
It wasn't even a flex. I don't even know why they let me do it. They shouldn't even have let me, but thank you to my manager that let me do that.
That's right.
Everyone would hate on me because they wanted to do that and they wouldn't let them.
Damn. Some fuck shit right there.
Maybe because I was like more, if you don't, I'm probably just going to quit with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But and maybe I was a better negotiator. But then, so I'm working 2 days a week, and I just started to think. I had been picking up my channel again, and I'd been doing a ton of flipping, I guess, to tie it back in, right? I've been
While at Nordstrom, or this is after?
well at Nordstrom,
Okay,
but it
so you're
had
still
nothing to
flipping.
do with my discount or anything.
Right.
But I was doing a ton of flipping.
Oh yeah, that's why you can't tell us. That's
No.
why you can't tell us you use the discount.
No, I
know.
promise you.
I play.
The discount was 20%, and I promise you that was not enough margins.
So what? So you're flipping the shit.
So I'm starting to realize, okay, here's how much money I'm making for 2 days a week at Nordstrom, which I'm absolutely dreading at this point. I feel like my feet are gonna get. You ever see those pictures of the Chinese like trap feet that they used to do historically?
Like the finger traps?
No, I don't know if it was Chinese. Forgive me if I'm culturally wrong here. You ever see those in like Kingdom China, where the women would have to put their feet in those really tied up shoes?
Oh yeah. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's maybe it is the right culture. I ain't cultured, man.
I felt like wearing dress shoes every day was destroying my feet slowly.
This is real?
Huh?
This is for real?
For not like super serious, like
Okay.
medical, but it was just like
In
one
your
of those
head.
funny things.
Yeah, like fuck, I gotta
Like,
stop.
I freaking hate wearing dress shoes.
Right.
I'm getting tired of waking up for these early shifts. I'm getting tired of selling these same shoes and these same customers, and I don't even care about these shoes anymore. And I'm working 2 days a week, and I'm making whatever X amount of dollars, a couple $100, so many a month.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I just made this much flipping this thing, and I feel like if I'm smart enough that, what am I working at my job? Like 16 hours a week. I'm smart enough that if I put, or whatever, 8 hours a day, if I really sat down for 8 hours a day, I could figure out how to make $10 or whatever,
for sure.
you know?
Right.
So I had saved up a little bit, and I was like, well, I'm gonna give it a try. I knew that I couldn't juggle all three, like some sort of entrepreneurial creative endeavor, work and school. And I knew that I didn't know that I couldn't ditch school, but I was almost done. I was about halfway through, and I knew that I wanted, not that I wanted to, but I needed to finish. I didn't have the confidence to not do it. So I said, well, I can drop work. I had enough saving, and I was not completely brash about it, but I slowly weaned off, and then I quit one day.
Right.
I quit. I put my 2 weeks in, and I had enough money where I said, all right, well, I got about 6 months or a year of fuel, maybe 6 months only, of fuel to figure out how to at least make as much as I was making there.
This brings us to budget. Whatever. Okay, this is coming down. Oh God, the dogs are out now. This brings us to the budget portion, right? So in your mind, you've created a budget to survive off of, to at least explore something new, correct?
Correct.
And that was going to be?
I did not have a number. I can't remember.
No, not the money. Not the money. Like, what was the plan? The plan then becomes a mixture of flipping and YouTube?
Yeah, so I worked a ton of different freelance type of things. Basically, I took the dive, and once you do, you're forced to, you know that saying, jump off the cliff and build the airplane on the way down?
No, I haven't heard that one.
It's something like that. It's probably worded better than I said it. But once you jump, then you're kind of forced to
figure it out.
Yeah, so I started figuring out, I wasn't making any money on YouTube, but my channel was still getting residual views at the time because I had a catalog of content. So my channel was still getting maybe like 50 to 100 to 150 bucks a month off of it.
Damn.
Which, I mean, I didn't have any, I did have to pay school, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I did eventually have to take out a loan.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. I had enough money to last a couple more semesters, but after that, I needed to be generating enough to pay for the last couple semesters.
Right.
And still live at the same time.
Yeah.
And all that. So I was doing a ton of flipping because I was really into clothing. So I was doing a ton of flipping. I think then I started to make more content on my channel, and I said I was going to pick it back up because I let a good thing go to waste.
Yeah, right.
I was going to dust it off. And I didn't exactly have a defined idea of
what it would be.
Yeah, I didn't have a defined idea of what I did. Looking back on it now, it feels like I jumped kind of blindly, but I didn't. But I definitely didn't have the clear, defined thing that I eventually had now. But if I never would have jumped off, all I had was blind faith, kind of. Blind faith and some vague confidence and vague plan, enough to try something. So I worked a lot of weird gigs. I was
going to say, like, okay, so you're talking about working these odd jobs, but I mean, you're doing these like random one-off freelance things. So like this video related?
And so this takes it back to video, right?
Uh-huh.
So at the time, I decided to really invest in myself, I was really into that. I really had a self-improvement kick. Like, I'm going to read all these books about business. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to watch all these guys on YouTube.
Yeah.
Listen to all these. I consumed every piece of content that talked about how to build a business, or how to do things online or social media, and all those guys like Gary Vee and all that. So in between, because the YouTube channel still wasn't making that much money, I did a bunch of freelance stuff that wasn't specifically video. Usually it'd be like a Photoshop quick odd job. I think I signed up to a bunch of freelancer websites,
right,
and tried to pick up jobs that seemed like quick.
Yeah, like just easy.
Usually
money.
People on there have such absurd expectations.
Yeah.
So it's rare that you could, if you dig for hours, you can find the one guy who wants something reasonable.
I did a Fiverr job once.
Yeah, I never did.
It took me 4 hours to do a $5 job. I was like, what the fuck? But I wanted to be legit. So in the next one, I'm like, what is I got to get the fuck out of this.
Yeah, so I never really found much gigs on those freelance sites because people are just crazy, absurd, and I don't know. But between all the flipping and whatnot, I eventually I found eventually some guy who I can't remember how. Oh yeah, I remember what happened when Snapchat was super popping, and I was super into watching all this content. I got the idea to start one of those Snapchat filter things.
I heard this before.
Yeah. So you've heard this from someone else, right?
No, I think I heard this about you, but you're talking about like the little like the Khaled filters in the bottom corner.
This was super new at the time. You gotta remember, this was almost over a year ago.
I was gonna say, I think I remember them doing this.
It was custom geo filters.
Yeah.
Right. So I made one for the mall, right, that I worked at.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing ever. I was like, that was a community filter. It's free.
Okay.
And it said like the mall's name, and I made it, and I knew that I made it, and that everyone was using it.
That's
and like
fucking
I went on Instagram and I searched for the mall's tag.
Yeah.
And I just kept scrolling until I found someone who who took a screenshot from Snap and posted on Instagram. It's some random stranger. I had no idea who they were, but it had my like
That's
design
fucking
on it,
tight.
which was really cool to me. But I read that if you get on this now, I think I was watching Gary Vee, and he said, this is going to be hot. This is going to be hot. A lot of you who are looking for whatever, do this. And it fit perfectly. I was into design, and so I thought this is it. I just hit the gold mine right here.
Yeah.
These are going to be crazy, you know. Everyone's going to want these. I was telling everyone like, this is going to be crazy, trust me. I immediately, like that week I went, I made a business card for it. I printed out like 100 of them. I still have like 80 of them in my
every
thing.
fucking time.
And I set up a website and a domain, which is all still active, and an Instagram page. And
What is it?
it's Snapchat filter maker. The thing was,
So smart.
I was trying to get the best SEO one.
Yeah.
So like Snapchat filters, but basically they were all taken because some people are quick. So a lot of the best ones were taken, the ones that I first came up with. So I kept typing in combinations and Snapchat filter maker, because I figured that's what someone would type in if they're looking for that. And so that one wasn't taken. So I still own it. I think some like Chinese company tried to email me to buy it off me. They said, if you do not sell it, we're going to start using it anyway. We're just warning you.
Damn.
I can't tell.
All right, cool. Give me like a guap.
They said, we're going to start using this name anyway. I was like, and then I was just feeling comical at the time. So I said, if you do that, you'll face the biggest lawsuit. But I didn't care if they used it.
Yeah, no shit. Just feel like, fuck you for trying to flex on me. Damn.
I was just feeling like a troll.
So did it work?
So for a few months, I went to all my buddies. My one buddy knows basically everyone in the community who owns a restaurant or a hookah lounge or whatever. And he's like, and I told him about it because I'm good friends with him, and we would always be going to the gym. And he's like, and he understood what I was trying. I got the message to him, and he's like, call me tomorrow. He's like, I'm gonna put you in touch with this guy who's a DJ. He's like a local DJ around the city, and I started making filters for him, and he DJs at every nightclub, like a lot of these nightclubs in Detroit.
The person.
Yeah, so basically I was, and it was cool because it was hard to explain to them what the value of this type of advertising was. I was saying to them, let's say a person takes a snap in your restaurant and they share it to all 100 of their friends, and they can all see that they were at, and you can make it say whatever your business name was instead of not saying anything. And some of them didn't get it, but some of them did. And so I would do like, and it cost money to set them up, but I would say like, okay, like $100, I'll design it for you and set it up, and then plus whatever Snapchat charges me for however many hours you're putting it.
Oh, so then you would just pay to have it hosted.
Yeah.
And
then there was like this really basic site.
Yeah.
That they had, that it was a beta kind of, that the average person would not know how to go do.
Right.
So I was kind of like
the mediator.
I was the designer and the person setting it up.
Yeah.
And this actually was a crazy opportunity for like a brief 2-month period.
Yeah, it was great.
Because I could literally buy out Snapchat space over some crazy area, like probably the most busy street in LA, from my bedroom for like $5.
That's fucking crazy.
And advertise whatever thing I wanted to, probably however many thousands of people using there. And Snapchat's the most popular site.
Right.
So it was really undervalued at the time. And some people didn't get it, but some people did. And so I made it for a lot of businesses. And the longest you could set it up for was a month. So I did it for a couple local businesses, made a couple $100 here and there. of course, whenever you're working with clients, I hate working with clients, and I realized this too through doing all this. Whenever you're working with clients, it's always more than just one thing. It's always...
Can you also tweak our logo?
It's a million tweaks and revisions, and then that $100 one job turns into
30-hour job.
Yeah, it starts to like break down to not be as sweet as it seemed. But it was very cool and it was very lucrative, and weddings and all these people, everyone wanted them. It was like the hottest thing ever. I knew right away that the big opportunity was to like pipeline it and scale it and to create some crazy like factory of team of doing it, but myself, I didn't quite have the resources, or I didn't know exactly how to do that. So I was just like, well, whatever. There's enough room for everyone to eat here. I'm gonna eat up all the land around me. Yeah. That dude in Texas can eat up all his local businesses. Right. And there were websites starting to pop up, but of course these local DJs and whatever, they're gonna go to me. But
damn, Snapchat filter maker.
It's still up, and I still don't know what to do with it, and I'm willing to sell it.
Yeah, all right. So if you're looking to buy,
if anyone's trying to do the Snapchat filter business, but I quickly realized that business was gonna. I always knew, not always, but like a month into it, I knew that the more and more I used the site, I noticed they kept updating the site. Mm-hmm. Snapchat kept improving it. And I just realized that one day they're just gonna put it up here so that you can like generate one for free and just like do it all yourself, for sure. And like auto generate.
Yeah, like, nothing lasts forever.
They're gonna cut you out. So the coolest part was though, one time, and you can see all the stats too, like how many people used it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
that's dope.
So like you could see it got used 10 times and 1,000 people saw it. And so I was giving these businesses back their stats.
That's perfect.
Like, yeah, so it was cool. A lot of them were like, "Oh, it's not working in this area." It was kind of like weird because sometimes if you're not in the map,
right.
Anyways, one time the DJ I was working with, they were throwing an event and they brought DJ Khaled out. Yeah. And at the time, DJ Khaled is the biggest Snapchatter.
He's the best.
At the time, this was when he was blowing up on Snapchat.
And then when he got done being blown up, that's when Snapchat started dying.
Yes.
Like literally, that was like the moment. Yeah. And then they were like, Instagram was like, we're going to take all this shit.
Yes. And so he came to the club and I made like 4 filters for that night and put them on there.
On your own, or were you hired to do this?
It was for the DJ basically. Yeah. But it was for the DJ for the event, but I knew it was a good opportunity.
Fuck yeah.
DJ Khaled came. So I made like, everyone knew like we need to have like as many as you can have, which I think the limit was 4.
Okay.
And he ended up using one of them. It wasn't the one I wanted him to use, but he ended up using one of them, and I still have the snap. And if you go on the Snapchat filter maker Instagram, you can see it. That's the last thing on there. Yeah. But he's like, Detroit, whatever. And I could check the stats on it. And it got like 1.6 million views or something, which I didn't get any money for, but it was just very cool. And I purchased that space. Yeah. I think for $10, and I could have purchased it for $5, but the DJ just wanted to be extra with it and make sure we got like the whole radius, which I don't blame him for. But what I'm trying to say is you could have got. I literally reached 1.6 million people through a creative. Like through a little bit of finessing, and right place, right time for $5. If you try to buy $5 worth of ad space anywhere, that's like 5 impressions. That's fucking like crazy. 100 impressions. Yeah, 1.6 million impressions is worth insane. Worth hundreds of thousands. Yeah, for sure. Not that I don't even know what it said. All it said is like Detroit. I'll look it up after, but we didn't really sell anything.
Yeah, for sure. But still, the fact that you were able to curate that much attention to something you designed.
Yeah, and I remember I went on Snapchat, on my personal Snapchat, everything. I was like, go look at DJ Khaled's Snapchat. It was on his public story.
But then, what was crazy is that I noticed when he started touring, he made that happen in every city he was in.
Well, some company was doing it for him. They were smart. They kept Googling where he was going to be, and they would just set it up.
But you don't think that was premeditated?
I know for a fact that a lot of them at the beginning stages weren't, because I remember I had my eye on all the competition, and one of these sites just kept putting their like designed by whatever their name was, I forgot, custom filters, and DJ Khaled was just using them for free. He could have been charging. They
could have all been. Yeah. That's the fucking problem, man. Is there's so many people that'll undercut your shit because they want the opportunity and they'll just do something for free.
I mean, it was smart of them.
For sure.
And I realized that I could do it too, but I knew that I could do all these things, but I just didn't care at a certain point. Like, I saw that they were doing it, and I saw that they set up a website, but I just didn't care. I kind of knew that it wasn't going to last, and I was ready to like make my exit out of that little bit. It was cool. I went on my personal Snap. I said, because it was on his public story, which everyone was watching at the time anyway, so it wasn't like I had to copy and paste it.
No.
I was just like, go on his story and click that.
It's fucking
I was
tight.
like, I made that. I'm the coolest person you know now.
That's tight as hell. Damn.
But I was like, I made it. I officially made it. But through that, I remember I was doing some. I would meet this guy at this hookah lounge, and I would just quickly we would chop it up over like what designs he wanted.
Yeah.
And he was paying me a certain amount, or I would say, I'll do yours for free if you hook me up with these 10 other people, and I'll charge them. And some of them, like I said, were really long, but some of them were extremely quick. Like this barber did a conference for like barbers, and there was lots of people, and he wanted a filter for it.
Yeah.
And he needed it like last minute, and I literally whipped it up right away.
He was down for it.
Although I only charged him I think 100.
Yeah.
After the guy's like, why did you only charge him 100? He would have paid you 500 for that.
And you're always like, fuck.
And I was like, well, I know it's not worth 500. It's only worth 100.
Yeah.
But so like some of it was a little bit of money. I thought like I had like this gold mine under me, but it was enough. It was like a little small source of income. But through that, one time I was sitting there doing it, and this other guy was there that he knew, and he introduced me to him, and he's like, that guy owns this drink brand or whatever, and they're looking for someone like that. He's like, this guy is a good creative guy for something like that. So through that, I went and met with this guy, and this is all exclusive.
This is tight. But this is the hookah guy that's plugging you up, right?
The DJ.
Okay,
we were just meeting at the hookah.
Okay, I
place.
got you. Okay, so this has been the DJ.
I don't smoke hookah, by the way. This is a
Me either.
Middle Eastern stereotype. I don't smoke hookah, but I was meeting him there because that's
Right.
where he was hanging. I think he was doing several businesses, so he does some business like with that. But anyways, he introduced me to this guy, and I went and met this guy over and over just to convince him that I was a good social media person. And he explained to me what they were trying to do. Take this local. They had the license and rights for this energy drink brand.
Right.
That was big in Austria, but it had no base here, and they wanted to build it up and blow it up until Coca-Cola bought them out for millions of dollars. And the way he was positioning it to me was like, you can come on board for free and be part of the dream in hopes that
Shut the fuck up.
in hopes that we'll give you a piece of the company if it gets bought out.
With hopes.
Basically, at first he was trying to get me to like sign on board for life, like make this your life mission. And I was like, sadly, I need money for tuition, so if I'm gonna
Sadly, I can't do your shit for free because I gotta like.
I totally in the
survive.
back of my head it's bad, but in the back of my head I was like, Coca-Cola's not gonna buy you out, and you're not. I don't trust you, man. So
No, yeah.
I said, well, honestly, I'm looking for enough money to pay for my last 2 semesters. Also, I needed to do an internship requirement for my degree, so this would kind of finessingly fulfill that. Because I just was having the hardest time finding a real internship.
Yeah.
I even went to Quicken Loans down in Detroit to try to get an internship there,
Wow.
and I took a tour of the place, and I was ready to take a free internship just so I could graduate.
Yeah.
Now that I look back on it, it was so easy. You could have made up your internship.
I did.
Yeah, which I just called this my internship, but I was kind of it was kind of also a side hustle.
With this energy drink guy?
So basically what I was to do was to run all their social medias.
Okay.
And build their brand online.
So you did end up coming on for free as an internship. But
Yeah.
what did you do?
No, I didn't. I did not.
Oh, okay.
And this goes way back earlier in the conversation. You said, did any of this have to do with video? As you see, it started with Photoshop and design, and then this got back into, I was creating all type of content. So
Okay.
I was going to be the one-man army team from shooting the little quick videos,
Yep.
a little creative,
I did the same shit.
to editing, to outreach on Facebook, to community engagement, to building up their followers on Instagram.
Right.
And at the time, I had just started my page that you are follow me on, that everyone that you're gonna link and all that.
Yeah.
I had just started that page, so I must have only been at 2,000 or 3,000 myself. So I couldn't be like, look, I have my page that is on this.
But still, I mean, I feel like I'm very knowledgeable in what people should do. You know,
but you don't do it for yourself.
Yeah, but I don't do it for myself. That's
yeah.
Every day I could sit there and be like, I will make you billions of followers.
Yeah, but the thing was, he literally could not have, and I'm not saying this to boost my ego up, he literally could not have stumbled upon a better person than myself.
For sure.
To do this.
Yeah.
Because
you've paid your dues as far as earning the right to say you're a pro at that shit by studying the fuck out of it over and over.
And the thing was, though, he wasn't fully on board of understanding what it was worth. And at the time, I hadn't gone full in on my channel and all that. And I did show him, like, look, I do this stuff all day. I answer everyone's comment. You can see proof right here. Here's like my resume of doing this. And I built up this amount of followers.
And this is you're working this hard still to try to convince this guy to pay you, right? Or is
No. I was first convincing him to like come to that. He just wanted to like screen me a couple times to see if I would, I just met him like 3 times and we just talked about his vision and what I wanted to do. But I basically said flat out, like, no, I'm looking to get paid per month or however you want to do it. And I just said the number that would be good enough for me to pay my tuition and whatever. And so I think it was something like, I think I said 3,000 a month or something. And he said, well, we'll start for the first 2 weeks as like a training period. We'll pay you like half of that. And then once I see that you are actually doing quality work, then we will work up to that point. And so I went ham and I was doing this, and it actually felt great because that was actually a decent amount of money compared to anything else I was doing.
Yeah, that's great.
I was getting these checks like bi-weekly or weekly from him for just creating content. And it wasn't like I was slacking off, but I was making money from doing Instagram posts and Facebook posts and Twitter and just managing and stuff that I enjoyed doing. Right. But at the same time, I didn't really care about the energy drink really like that. And I don't drink energy drinks. Mm-hmm. But it was fun. They were in some local stores. So it was fun to pop in. Like me and my buddy would be on a night out and we'd pop into the gas station and be like, oh, look, there's the brand. They're on the very bottom shelf. But I was like, look at my phone. I'm logged in to the page. I run the page.
So was that the piece right there where I mean, obviously you're hungry as fuck to make shit and you just are kind of trying everything else to figure it out. So
that was not the piece at all. This was just like a slight tangent of side hustle, like in between quitting my job
But these are the types of hustles that you were doing on the way to deciding what it was that the goal was going to be, because still you don't know what the goal is, right?
I already knew the goal was to be able to
pay for college.
That was like the short-term necessity goal. Yeah. But I already kind of knew that the goal was that I didn't want to get a real job. I guess like if I just continue on, I can kind of explain it. And the reason I'm saying that was not the key at all is because I don't want to give I don't want to give the energy drink brand any credit, because what happened was, so after doing work for them for about a month or 2, and I got paid. They paid me just like you said, and everything we agreed to. After that, came time to be the date that I was going to go like full salary or whatever we agreed upon. He's like, well, me and my partners have decided that we think it's worth $2,400 or something. It was only a couple $100 less than what I asked for. Yeah. And it wasn't really that much lower that I wouldn't have accepted it. But it's just the fact that
fucking principle.
It was the principle that he already had agreed to that before we started. It wasn't that we were going to evaluate it then. He said, no, that's what it's going to be after we see this. So I was like, well, and so I'm a pretty good negotiator, I guess, from all the flipping I've done. I've sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things. So I was like, okay, well then I guess we can just stop here and we won't continue. Right. And he's like, all right, well, how about we all meet, like all of the investors in the company, because he was just like one of the guys that was running the day-to-day.
Yeah.
He's like, well, we'll all come back next week and we'll all meet and we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you guys meet and then call me when you're ready to give me my fucking money.
And it wasn't even really about the money, but
it's about the fucking principle of it.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he says this shit to you. It's like, so now you're kind of like shining your strength. Like, okay, well, you're not going to have this anymore.
the thing was, I can't blame him too much because you know how social media works. Like it wasn't like he could see thousands of dollars of results right away.
Right.
But I had like their pictures were going from getting like 30 to 40 likes of spam. You should have seen it. It was,
just
it was
garbage
completely
accounts.
terrible. Like
Yeah.
it was really laughable. Some of the stuff that they took a picture of a cooler that had Rockstar energy, because you know how like Rockstar and big brands they have labeled coolers.
Right.
They happened to be in that a cooler, but the cooler was a Rockstar Energy cooler, and so they took a picture. And I'm like, why would they post this? It just looks like a Rockstar advertisement.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Even though their drink is in the cooler, like this is something you would never do. Like this is an absolute no.
Yeah.
Like the first thing I did the first week was just go through and clean
Delete
up and
shit.
delete everything, rebrand and clean up the image. All their socials were like underscore at this, and then their Facebook was something else, and then their Twitter was something else, and their website didn't work. And I was getting pissed too because the lady that was like their CTO she wasn't giving me the like authorization to the WordPress. Every time I wanted to do something, I had to approve it with her, and she was always trying to say like what was best, and I knew what was better.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, what's so important that you need to fix right now? And I would say, well, your Instagram is linked. Their Instagram profile was like the LinkedIn logo, but it linked to something else, and everything was broken, you know? So I was like, well, for starters, this, and this, and this, and this. I'll fix those things right now if you just let me.
God damn.
She's like, that's not important. Let's just focus on this. Anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say, so where does this take you? I'm so interested to see, like...
This is such a weird tangent. It's only like a 2-month thing, but it was an interesting 2-month thing because it was when I thought I was running out of funds, and it got me back up to think like, wow, that's how I'm going to pay for my last couple semesters. But anyways, week goes by. He never calls me back, and eventually he just never calls me back, and I just forget about it. The funniest thing is they never asked for any of the passwords back. They never asked for anything back. Like any of the accounts. I don't even remember anymore at this point. I even messaged him like 2 months later. I was like, hey, just in case, like, do you want the passwords back? And like, cause I might forget them.
Like, no, we're shutting down our
no,
business.
they didn't even respond. So technically, I don't know what they're doing, but they probably just abandoned that strategy of going on social media. And after that, I said, you know what? F it. I'm gonna go into my. I'm gonna make as much money building my own brand. I already had kind of had that idea, but once I wasn't doing that anymore because just kind of cut communication after that failed negotiation.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, well, whatever. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna focus on my own thing right now. And sorry for them, but like then I blew up my own social media, so.
But you don't
need
them.
Bitter.
Yeah, no shit.
A little.
See what I was trying to say?
Little plot twist there. I could have did this for their brand.
So wait, when you say you were blowing up your social media, you're talking about YouTube?
No, I mean,
your Instagram?
At that point, I was like, okay, whatever. Back to the drawing board. What do I have? Okay, no more working for other people. I'm going to just build up my own channels. Even when I was working, in that short 2-month thing, when I was doing their energy drink brand, I really wanted to do my own. It's just that I wasn't making money out of my own.
Right.
So the only reason I did it was because that was making me actually making me money. I still knew like
that wasn't.
I thought I was gonna juggle both. Like,
yeah,
I'm still gonna make my own content. This is just like some money right here. I'm gonna make their content on the side. But once that didn't work out, I just went full into my thing, and you can kind of see it all play out on my channel. Of me, like, I started back up. I went and invested in this place. I just took everything super seriously. I said, you know what? I have about 1 more year till I graduate. I'm going to make this happen because I know I never want to go get I knew in my gut I never wanted to like go get a job with my degree. And I said to myself, okay, this is coming up quick. You know, graduating college always felt like this abstract thing, especially with how long and transferring and all the statistics classes I would fail and take over. I was finally a year away from graduating, and I was like, oh, crap.
It's about to go down.
I'm a year away from graduating. What am I going to do in the real world? Nah, I'm going to figure out this. I'm going to spend the next year. I'm going to make this work. And so then I just went like.
So what was making it work to you? Like, was it like becoming financial, like hitting a limit, or was it earning something, buying something?
I remember I was listening to something. I can't remember if it was like a Tony Robbins speech or something.
Probably.
Something that said, write down your goals on a piece of paper right now.
Yeah.
I think it was like another YouTuber's video. Said, write it down. He's like, I wrote these goals down. I know it sounds stupid, but I smashed them, and I'm at like 1 million subscribers now. I wrote down exactly all my goals. So it was, and you know, I had been getting older. I was like 23, turning 24. And then you start to feel like, oh crap, I'm getting older, and I still have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
And I'm about to graduate, and I feel behind.
Yep.
And I'm feeling like, so.
Do the same shit.
I wrote down. I literally still have this piece of paper. I don't have it with me. It's back home.
I was gonna say, did you keep it?
I have it. I still have this piece of paper, and it's not, and I wrote another one down for 25. I'm gonna do this every year, every age. I wrote down goals for age 24, and I wrote down, graduate college, be able to afford a new car, be able to or get 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, be able to turn your passions into a legitimate career or income.
Yeah.
And then just like a few other random things like gain 10 pounds of healthy weight or muscle or something. And just other, just
Did
like.
the 100K happen in that year?
Okay, so.
Because you were already
almost
probably
like
at 50, 60.
When did I hit 100K?
Because I watched your 100K plaque video, which obviously you were way past 100K.
No, I did not write down get 100K. Shoot for the moon. I wrote down get 500K. And I was I thought, because like, I remember I was reading like set your goals high.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was like, what's a number that I'll absolutely never, ever, ever get to? Because I was at 50,000 subscribers or so, and I was gaining like 20, 30, 40 a day. So if you do the math on that, that means it would take me eons to get to 500,000. So I was like, I couldn't even fathom it. I was like, okay, get to 500,000 subscribers. That sounds like a crazy goal, which I didn't do, but I did hit 100K was a goal for me.
Yeah.
Which I did do, but that I'd set earlier. But I wrote down all those goals, and then on top of writing down the goals, I wrote down what I was going to do that.
Smart.
Because
this is super helpful, and everyone that's listening should do this like as soon as we get done.
So I wrote down, like, I still remember, I wrote down work solid 8+ hours a day at your craft, just like you were at a job.
Yeah.
I just kept writing down stupid stuff like work 10 times harder than you think is working hard. Network with people and reach out to as many people as you can and like collaborate with people.
Yep.
What else did I write down? Like,
and you started seeing that you were checking these off?
Oh,
Were you
I wrote down like make content like I forgot what I wrote, like 7 days a week or something. No, I didn't write that down, but I wrote down these very specific things on how I was going to get there. And then I also wrote down why. Why do you want to get there? So I was like, why? Like, because I deserve it and I want to prove myself right.
And fuck that last company I was with.
No, actually, that was like such a minor 2-month petty thing.
Didn't even...
I didn't, like, I can't even, I don't give them the credit for any of this because they were just like a minor 2 months thing. It's just a nice little petty revenge to say that after that, I like...
Flex. Bye-bye.
It's a nice little flex. Like, I could have had your...
So were you...
Could have had your social popping.
You're crossing these things out, I guess, as time goes on.
Yeah, so now in the past couple months, I did cross this off. Like, graduate college.
Yep.
Check.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. And then I still haven't crossed off reach 500,000 subscribers, but
soon
it's
come.
Crazy. Like, I might in the next 6 months or a year. So and I also wrote down like the be able to afford a new car, and which I don't really care about now. But
did you get a car?
I have a car. I have a Grand Prix. It's a crappy old Pontiac.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about like getting a new car now, but I just wrote it down because as long as I'm able to afford one, then I won't feel like I'm behind. Or,
yeah, you're in a good position.
Or whatever.
Right.
I'm now. I think like even if I am able to afford one, I won't. I'll just keep it there and just use the money to do something else, like help my parents or something.
Right.
But it's just knowing that, okay, yeah, I could do that if I want. Like, nobody can tell me nothing about that.
Fuck yeah.
Like, you drive that.
Right.
Yeah, but you can't tell me nothing about
take me to the lot right now. Take me to the lot.
Take me to the bank account.
I want a Tesla. I'm going to wait till I can get
Eventually I do
Tesla.
want a new car, but it's a kind of a petty goal. I would say it's okay to have material. It's okay to have a material car. It's funny because in my car, like the outside door doesn't open unless you open the passenger door doesn't open unless I open it from the inside.
Yep.
It's probably a quick like $200 fix, but I just don't want to do it.
Why?
Because I just open it.
If you know that you can do it, it's fucking why.
But everyone's always like, every time I let someone in the car, they're like, get a new car.
Mm-hmm.
But I did slowly start checking those off, and now I'm looking at it in the past like couple weeks, and I start to realize like, wait, I can check that one off now, like be able to afford to get a new car or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I can check that off now. I didn't think it would, but it added up, you know?
That's crazy.
Those are the ones I never thought I would. And I never gained 10 pounds of healthy muscle, but once you start working so much. But yeah, I wrote down that list, and then I wrote down another one for 25, which I can't even remember now because it's too fresh. But like this one's like, get 1 million subscribers, get this, get that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You write those down on your birthday?
I think I inadvertently started this habit now. I write it down like a few days before I'm having the crisis before my birthday.
Right.
Like, okay, where am I at this year? And I feel like I need to do 3 years of work in this 1 year to catch up. Like now that I'm 25, and like we were talking about earlier, I see all these young kids in LA and everywhere, like young kids,
Dude,
like
tell
15.
Me about it. You're turning 25 That's what I'm saying. You're young to me.
I know,
what I mean?
but
I'm telling you, 15 to 19-year-old kids that are coming in here.
Babies, like newborn
they're
babies.
Crazy good.
With like millions of followers.
Crazy good at what they do.
Yeah, and they're just running around controlling the city. Like running the city.
For real. Pull up on any club, do whatever they want at a ridiculous age and make it happen.
And I feel like, wow, I'm 25 and these like 13-year-olds are demolishing me. At the same time, I'm totally happy and like with where I'm at. It's all relative, but from a competitive standpoint, and just for fun, you know, it's all a game. But
I think it's also interesting because in my position, I moved here when I was 27, and to me that was way late. I got here and immediately was like hustling on everything, this documentary, Chris Brown's documentary, all this stuff. We started working right away. And I was like so stoked that I had an opportunity because I know people that move here and it takes years before shit happens.
I was just talking to my Uber driver.
Right?
It's like, I've been here for 5 years and he's like, I'm trying to do commercials.
And it's hard. You sit there and I got a chance right away to, you know, I just ran through the door that was open. And when you do that, you kind of see people that are young, they come into it and they'll be meeting you, and for some reason I don't know why people just think I'm younger in my face, and probably just the way I act. You're
a funny guy.
I don't know. Yeah, if that means that I'm younger, if funny people
have
are
a young sense of humor.
But yeah, I guess so. I like try to fuck around with that, and when I meet people, they'll be like, "Oh, how old are you?" And I'll be like, "I'm 28 at the time or something, 27." And they'll be like, "Oh," and I'll be like, "How old are you?" They're like, 19. I'm like, "Fuck yes." I'm like, "Keep doing what you're doing because right now, if you're here and we're having this conversation because you did that, you're winning. Like you're gonna win even more." But I'm like, I think at the same time, because I always look at it like I'm old getting into this game, but at the same time, I think that I was very, very experienced. So when I come here, the 13-year-old kid can run around here and throw money at whatever and get into wherever they want. But they can't really tell me anything about experience because you're fucking 13.
Yeah.
Because you're 13. Your experience is I know how to upload and create content. Good. Give me 3 weeks and I'm going to watch and I can do exactly what you did. I'll go back to your same town you lived in, but get the house right next to you and do the same shit you did, because that's not hard. But the truth is like I did go to college just like you, and we went there and we did network and we learned what we had to do and we had to fight for all that shit. And then when you get out of college, you're trying to figure out what the next move is. You start investing all that time and energy into learning. You watched thousands and thousands of YouTube videos and content and forums and reading and books and all this shit. It's like that all builds you into this moment right now. So when you look at it, it's like, oh, you're 25, man, that's too old. That's not fucking true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
I get some of the best photography like tutorials off these old ass dudes on YouTube that you watch it and they're throw fully into the channel. Like, make sure to like and subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And you're 60 years old.
Yeah.
But they've been fucking with cameras for 60 years. These are the guys you should listen to. They're probably going to have a little bit more knowledge than the kid that's fucking 12 that's doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Because they printed film. You know what I mean? Like that shit.
Exactly. A lot of kids, like even I had to go back and kind of realize, okay, wait, this all has a root in like chemicals, and it used to be on a metal sheet that the sun would expose on.
It's insane.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I promise you 99% of people don't understand that that's where it comes from.
No way. I know. It's insane. And it's fucking mind-boggling. But at the same time, I don't think me being 29, you being 25 now in less than 25 minutes. Congratulations.
Yeah. No, what time
it's
is it?
11:30 right now.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You're right.
I know. It's about to be your
Sorry,
birthday, bro.
I'm in the future back home already.
That is true. So a few more hours. Oh, wait. You are. Yeah, it is your birthday.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm
All right.
living in the past right
happy
now
birthday.
on the West Coast. Thank you.
So I guess because obviously now
You got your first birthday strike on
a
podcast.
podcast, yeah, right off the bat. That's
a nice one.
I know. I'm kind of crushing it.
But what you're saying is, I don't feel like I'm late because I've caught up so quickly in the past 6 months that I feel like I'm right on time.
Right.
But at the same time, you look around, there's a lot of people that only blow up when they're like 30, 40, 50. There's this picture infographic that says lost in life. These people didn't make it until whatever time, and it has all these notes. And it's a really good picture because it shows you that I think like J.K. Rowling didn't write Harry Potter until she was already married, already divorced, and all that, and then she was 30 something or 40.
Yeah, that's
she wrote
called
Harry
living.
Potter.
She lived and built this world in her head. You know what I mean? That's amazing.
And so while it is good because things go so exponentially in time, like the earlier you get in, the better it is to stay consistent with it. It's also like things can happen in 1 year.
Yeah,
like your whole life can change in 1 year. So there's tons of people I watch on YouTube that I only found about when they were 40 years old. So who knows what they did in the past 40 years? And we don't know if 30 years from now all this stuff gets erased and then some new platform or technology comes out that because we did all of this stuff, we have the perfect recipe of life ingredients to hop on that and all of a sudden do our thing.
For sure.
Whatever it's going to be.
For sure. So now, let's go to now. Like, you've hit 300K, which I saw your 100K plaque video, which you look like you were about to fucking cry.
I wasn't.
I know, but I mean, like, you're sitting there like, God damn, I've thought about this moment for so long and shit. To hit 100K, that's crazy. I remember hitting 100K on my first video I ever made.
Yeah.
It was a Doritos commercial, and most of the comments were like, director's gay, director should kill himself, director, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck, man? It was just a Dorito. It was a joke video.
Yeah.
But I hit 100K, and I remember us like having this victory. We went out to this bar, and we were like 100K, and then hit 200K, so we were right back at the bar like 2 days later. I'm like, holy shit. And it had nothing to do with me, really. It was just the Doritos was like the reason why. But hitting those marks, those benchmarks.
The first milestone is always like the one you set. That's the one I envisioned for so long. And I thought I'd never have it. I thought if I had it, nobody can tell me nothing. I'm good now, you know?
Did you find, is that true? Like,
it's not true.
It's not true? Because I feel like you could walk into somewhere now and say, yo, I have 100,000 people I influence.
It's not true. I promise you. As soon as you get it, it's the same thing with the Instagram 10K thing.
For sure.
How bad you want it, and then once you get it. What you're saying is true about, like, it can unlock doors.
Yeah.
But I thought once I had it, I would be so satisfied that I wouldn't want anything else. And it is the most satisfying milestone, but like right after 100, I got 200 like in the next couple months, and then 300 in the next couple months, and 203. Even though 200 and 300 is much more than 100.
Yeah,
the 100 felt the sweetest because the 100 took 5 years to get.
That's crazy.
You know, the 100 took 5 years to get, and then the 200 took 3 months.
You did double that in no time.
Which that's another really notable point. You know, the first 100 is going to take the longest.
For sure.
The first 90%. Sorry. The first 10% is going to take 90% of the time, most of the case. And then the rest of the 90% of things that you want is going to happen in the last 10. But it's only going to happen if you do all 100% of that.
Yeah, you got to put in all of that work. Yeah, 10,000 hours.
Yeah, most people will quit earlier, and I did many times. I stopped on and off because you just have to have faith that last majority push will all happen at once. I guess in most cases, in many ways.
So what what projects, what plans do you have coming up now? You want to get 1 million.
I do, for sure.
So is your plan to stay on track with creating these types of tutorials and moving that will take you to 1 million? Do you have any other plans aside from that?
So I have much more, like I'm coming at it much more strategically now, and it's all happened kind of quickly, so I know that it can go away quickly too.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan is not just to keep creating the same very specific tutorials and things. It is, 70% to keep doing what's working.
Yeah.
But I'm really actively working really hard at the other 30% to, now that I've worked so hard to get to this point, because I know what it's like to work to that point and lose it.
Yeah.
And come back, like that little 50K
You don't
small
want to give
point.
that up.
I do not want to have to come back to this point. The building part is hard, but like staying there is twice as hard. So I'm branching out into many different types of content. Like I'm trying to vlog while I'm out here. I'm collaborating with people like you now that, like you said, once you get to a certain amount, you can unlock more doors.
Yeah, for sure.
I can show that I've put in the work, that more people, and once you put in the work, you actually do put in the work and you actually do reach people.
Well, I thought it was cool
fake.
when we did the live stream on your channel, and it was just, it was like a low key Q&A, but I had no idea that YouTube live stream was the shit like that. And then you brought me on there and you were like, this would be way cooler if we had put more time into promoting it and all the shit, but it's just
I think it was on like a Sunday, like midnight. So it was
but still for me, it was cool.
Time.
Like you still had like 200-300 people, eventually like 1,000 people watch whatever we talked about.
Yeah. After it stays.
But still,
the thing with live streams is if there's 100 people in there, it's not always the same 100. So like they pop in and out, and eventually it's really like 500 or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, like you're saying, I'm really, now that I've gotten to this point, my ideas and belief level of what is possible, it was all kind of a blind faith, like leap of faith, vague idea, like when I was quitting Nordstrom, getting to this point, and then it kind of went like a little upside down graph, where I took a little dip figuring it all out, and now it's just up, like
booming.
I know, well, my thought is like much more solidified, much more strong, and much more clear, precise, direct laser vision. Yeah. Whereas it wasn't like that, but you do have to take that leap of faith to get to that point.
Yep, for sure, 100%.
So yeah, it's still to make a sustainable living doing what I enjoy and creating, and through that all the awesome things like meeting other creative people, being able to see my influence and help other people across the world. Like it's so cool to me when I'll be watching a music video because I'm a fan, and I'm like, wait, oh they used my little color pack there. Yep. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I was watching this because I like this guy's music, and his video editor used my color pack. So somehow I like went back around the world and touched myself in a weird like.
For sure, that's a trip.
Yeah.
But I said that same thing where I would be, because when you reached out to me, I was like, who is this? And I look at your channel, and as I was like clicking through stuff, I'm like, damn, he looks familiar. And then maybe a month later, I find myself in a situation looking up something on YouTube, and then you pop up, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is the dude that reached out to me on Twitter. And the same thing happens with like Josh and these different people that Belgium or something, and I had to look something up real quick. It would be like the dumbest thing where I'm like, damn it, I don't remember how to do this. Google it, and he's the first person to pop up, and I'm like, this is crazy that's my homie, and I'm finding it over here. You know what I mean? Like two different sides of the world, and it's just wild to see that stuff. But I think that's really cool. So who would be your dream collaboration?
Jake Paul.
I knew you were gonna fucking say that. I knew that.
We haven't talked about Jake Paul this whole time.
Everyone missed the first part.
Now you can put it in the title.
Yeah, Jake Paul. Okay.
Please, if you have
would
to
you
put
really?
Would just put it at the end of the title?
Would that really
Jake
be it?
Paul? No, my dream. No. I have a lot of. I guess I have a whole list of cool people I'd like to work with. But I can't say I have a dream collaboration, but I would love to work kind of. I make a lot of music video editing related content.
Yeah.
So it'd kind of be cool to somehow not completely change into that lane, but also dabble in that lane and see.
As far as focus on music videos?
No, not really, but just work with artists that I really enjoy personally too. Like, I don't know, just all these upcoming rappers or...
To cut their music videos is what you're saying.
Maybe somehow have some type of hand in that type of... Like, work on a team that I think is really doing cool stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Or I honestly think teams are the future.
Absolutely.
And this is crazy, but like...
No, it is.
Like, teams of people doing something cool rather than just one person. That's how you get your whole thing bought out by Disney for like $500 million, you know? But I don't know. I have so many people that I would love to collaborate with a ton of people. Basically, everyone that I watch and follow, I would like to collaborate with them.
For sure.
Like you, like every single other person that I'm...
Yeah.
But the number one cool thing that I want to continue doing to this is just being able to survive and live and reach my goals through something that I enjoy and that I'm passionate about creatively, and seeing where it takes me along the way. And it seems like a lot more doors are unlocking in a weird quick. I feel like the snowball effect starts to happen pretty quickly. But yeah, I want to keep it going. I know how easy it is to lose it, so.
No, for sure. And I think that's the biggest issue people have is that they get too comfortable or something happens where you just give up, and that's when you fuck up, really.
Yeah, I really have, my goals just get more solid and bigger and bigger and bigger the more I keep going.
Would you say Michigan's the space that you'll stay in forever? Or would you ever do you think living here would give you benefit?
No, I don't think Michigan would be the space I'll stay in forever. I don't think it's limiting me completely, but it would be really cool to come out here and be doing some cool stuff collaboratively, you know, just with like a bunch of people living in a house.
Yeah.
Just banging content out. Because it is very true that it's the reason I'm still like so bad and scared of vlogging. It's because I'm uncomfortable and no one around me is doing it. And
that's fucking weird.
Yeah, but if you're in a house of people where it's the norm and everyone's pushing each other to create content, they say the people that you surround yourself with are who you become. And it is very true, but it's hard because your family and whatnot is not always into the things that you're into.
For sure.
But those are the people that you're surrounded with. But if I moved out here strictly with a bunch of like-minded people, things go a lot quicker and you waste a lot less time.
Absolutely.
And it's fun.
No, for sure. I think too, like me being from Iowa, I mean, we're literally like 9 hours from each other, I think.
Yeah.
In Iowa, I felt the same issue. Like I had my group of people and we would work together to like make the content we loved. But at a certain point, real life sets in and you get the struggle of like, fuck, I have to pay these bills, or I have this person to care for and this shit. And eventually I was like, man, to get to that next spot, I know I need to be somewhere else. When it comes to creating the content and working with the people, you had to be there. And now that I'm here and I'm like, man, I really want to make this content for other people, I'm sitting in my house. I'm like, I really am not utilizing LA, which is funny. Like where I would almost wish I could go back to Iowa to create this shit. But then when I'm in Iowa, I'm like, but fuck, I really wish I could pop in over here and get access to this. Or like, especially for this podcast, like to be able to have, obviously you don't live here, but if you did live here, I'd have you pull up and it'd be done. And I've met so many people that I think could pull up and sit down in this chair and like, we could have a good conversation. I think it'd benefit a lot of people. But I know in Iowa, I struggle for that and I'd have to fucking do Skype and shit. And I feel like it's such a give and take situation to, find where you are. But everyone always asks that question, like, do you think you need to live in LA to make it? And I don't think so. It just happens
to be that way where technically, it could help because everyone's here.
Yeah.
Like I said, like on my audience demographics, 20% of the people, the majority of people in the United States who watch me are from LA because it happens to be a film and photo.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like 10% Texas, like 8% New York. So it just, if I moved here, I would be a lot closer to the action. Proximity is a big thing. And the thing is, with people like me and you, we're online, and the internet connects so many people that I was able to create this ecosystem and surround myself with these influences kind of through the YouTube channels I chose to follow and the Instagram accounts I chose to follow and the books I chose to read.
Right.
I kind of created that ecosystem for myself. But you throw a guy like back to bring Jake Paul into this.
Yep.
You throw a guy into the Team 10 house, like grab a naked, afraid man from the street, throw him into the team at 10 house and give him a camera, and he's slowly going to learn how to walk and talk.
Guaranteed.
And I guarantee you he's going to be doing something,
I also think that at this point, like what you're doing, you came out here, got an Airbnb, and you're kicking it for the week with homies and shit. Like, once you start, because I have a lot of friends that I do design and stuff like that, and they're from the Midwest, and I'm like, yo, just keep coming back here. Because if you start making more, these trips keep coming here, the next time you come back, we'll have more than 3 hours to sit here and do a podcast, and you could come out to a set or something, and then all of a sudden you meet the rapper, and then all of a sudden you're editing their music videos, like you're like, oh, that'd be kind of fun, and then all of a sudden it happens. You know what I mean? Like, that's the power of being in a space, whereas where you're gone, it's hard to be like, well, I could send him the drive, but I'd rather just send it to give it to this kid because he's local.
It just happens. It just happens through proximity. It's like it's the same reason why like two people will develop a crush on each other. You put a boy and a girl or whatever in the same workplace. It's the same reason why coworkers end up dating.
Yeah, 100%.
You just put them in the same workplace, and if they just
they're there
through proximity.
Yeah.
Nature just takes its place, and the same thing 100%. Happens.
Okay, so what I was thinking, because I feel like you've given me some gold. Like, I mean, if anyone,
I gave you some. I've never said that. I always just said I worked at a gym and retail. Even on my own channel, I just feel weird. I just feel like, no, they're gonna track me down somehow. I never said I worked at Nordstrom or Lifetime Fitness.
There we go.
Those are exclusives.
You heard it first from the Black with No Cream podcast. But I think we got a good grip on it, man. If people wanted to know about you, they hopefully fucking know a lot more about you and your upcoming projects and everything that you've done to get here. I think that's impressive. Because all that shit adds up, and I like that you dove into the tangents, because the tangents all play a part in creating the mentality or creating the push that it took to get to the next spot. I basically, in the community, I asked Black with No Cream members if they had any questions for you specifically, and I got a grip. There's probably a couple more since I wrote them down.
I didn't see that. I haven't been checking like my socials as much.
Yeah, you're in LA. Chill out. Fucking have fun.
I can't.
You got that dope house in the hills.
Yeah, it's dope.
He's on Mulholland Drive. If anyone wants
I'm
to
going
find
Hollywood.
him.
I'm officially. Yeah, actually, I don't care because I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, I know.
If anyone wants to find me, we're on Mulholland 667.
Yeah, there you go. It's a great Airbnb. Rent it if you're looking for it. So let's see. This person named Morley Sullivan asked, I have like 10. Let's do this. You don't have to dive deep into these. You can give
quick fires.
Yeah, some quick fire. Some of them are good questions. I like them. So Morley Sullivan asks, what would you say has the biggest difference between you and other upcoming YouTubers? Why have you succeeded so far where others have failed?
Consistency and frequency of uploads, and just creating much more content than them.
Do you think your advantage is that you set yourself up to be able to do that, where other people might still try to juggle the...
Yeah, I know for a fact that nobody else... Because I know how hard it gets to upload every day, and I know for a fact that if you're juggling a job, and also if you haven't had the experience that I had kind of fell into of creating content, that you are not going to be able to go 100 days in a row. You know how it is, like on Will Smith, like said on a treadmill, like you will not outlast me on a treadmill.
Yeah.
You might be like, sometimes I get worried when I see someone like, not worried, but I see someone like, dang, that guy's killing it. He's about to, but then I realize like, nah, he just, nobody can last this long.
Right.
I mean, people can, but
that's a crazy dedication.
The average, I just know how, I stopped thinking about like, I've pushed my mental muscle there.
Yeah.
And I know that I take it for granted, but I know that is a mental muscle that unless you really, really, really have a strong reason to want it, you really have to want it or else you're going to quit. And I don't even have a doubt that you're going to quit. That sounds so savage.
No, it's not, but that's the truth. I think that I agree.
But yeah, just creating 10 times more content than you think was a lot.
Yeah, I feel like
as faster than you thought.
That is 100% true. So that's why he beats out the competition.
And I don't even beat out all the competition, so I need to go harder.
That's why he's beating some of the competition. Let's see. Let me look at Josh Brendez. This is a homie of mine from Iowa. He's creates a lot of content there. A lot of creatives go through times when they feel like their work isn't progressing. They get frustrated and have a lack of motivation. How do you deal with these challenges, and how can you help someone who is in this low? That's a good question.
I mean, I've had times where I don't have ideas, or I just don't feel like making anything. One, I do keep a notebook of ideas, and you have to start getting into the zone of always generating ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always in that generating ideas mode. Like, I might see your hat and be like, oh, I like the way that circle's on there. I'm gonna make I could make a tutorial about that.
Right.
I mean, maybe you don't make tutorials, but you get inspiration from life, but you have to write it down, I think, is a good one.
Well, it's a good mindset that you're always thinking for tutorial.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good idea for a tutorial, because a lot of people I'll see that, I'll be like, damn, that's a good idea for a music video, and I put it in a note, but I don't have it. I'm fucking up because I have it. My notes, I have like 600 notes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I keep a note thing on my computer, because usually when I see the inspiration, it's because I'm watching a music video. It's because I see like, oh, so-and-so just dropped a new music video. I know I need to get on that. It's kind of hot. And this goes back to like how I used to upload the Kanye West videos.
Yeah.
I still know, like, I know that's going to be hot, but now I flip it in my own way, where I'm not just like scrapping together some fake Illuminati clickbait.
Yeah.
I'm actually creating genuine content around it.
That's tight. That's really tight.
Yeah, keep a list of ideas at hand that you can write down, because you will forget them, that you can just pluck through. And then just surround yourself with like good music that you listen to. You know, go watch movies, go out for a walk, do something. Motivation, I don't know, you just have to I feel like you have to have a lot of chips on your shoulder to have motivation. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have a lot to prove, or you have to want it. If you don't have any motivation, I can't think of like what could give you motivation unless motivation can come from anything.
Yeah,
Like,
for
watch
sure.
motivational videos on YouTube and just have them pump you up.
Yeah, get jacked up.
Yeah,
That's
like,
what music's for, man.
yeah, you just have to have your own personal story of like, oh, I really want to do this for my grandma who did this,
Right.
or like, oh, I want to prove that person wrong, or I want to prove myself right, or whatever, you know.
Do you, well, let me do this one. This one's a quick one. My homie Tony
I gotta go
asks.
quicker on these. I'm going.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm trying to. We're crushing it. This is a long ass fucking
I know.
podcast.
This is like 2.5.
This is crazy.
What is it?
I don't know. It says 2:43 on this shit.
I
But
think 40 minutes of rambling.
yeah, there's some stuff.
All
My homie Tony has a really deep question, and it might be too sensitive for you to answer, but he wants to know if it's pineapple on your pizza, yes or no.
Oh, that's very deep. I don't mind it. Yeah,
It's okay.
I had a pineapple grilled cheese when I went to Electric Forest from one of this grilled cheese truck.
sounds
I
tight.
asked the guy what I should get. He's like, get pineapple. I said, give me the ham and grilled cheese or something with barbecue sauce. It was pork, grilled cheese, barbecue sauce, and he's like, throw pineapple on there. It's like a pineapple pizza. And I was like, all right.
This is where you just said I need to make these quicker, and you just took a pineapple
long
pizza,
story.
yes or no,
I'm
and
trying to
took
be like Jamie Foxx.
I'm gonna feel bad because
the next one's gonna be yes or no, whatever it is.
No, I feel bad because I know I'm gonna I fuck up her name because it's an interesting spelling, but Cordelia June, I want to say, she's super active on Black with No Cream. It's tight. I think she's a
shout out to her.
Yeah, she's dope. So she says this is cool because it comes to teams, and you were talking about, I think teams and groups are important. So it says, does your intuition kick in when you sense a team member is on board for the project, but for all the wrong reasons? Like, is choosing your work squad heartbreaking at times? I ask this because for what I'm working on, I have friends who want to be a part of the journey, but I know that the journey isn't for them, and it breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart to let them know that they can't be a part of the production as of yet.
Yeah, I would say so. Well, I hate working with clients, one, and I don't really work with teams as often as one might, because if you look at me, you might think I do like video editing jobs often, but I'm more doing this weird type of entrepreneurial content thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do still choose people to work with,
Yeah.
like yourself and whatnot.
Right.
And it sounds like she knows for a fact that she does not want to work
Yeah.
with these people. So don't always think that you have all the answers. But it sounds like you have the answer for this one, and you know you don't want to work with them. And when it comes to things like that, you just have to listen to yourself, because you're just doing yourself a disservice if you don't. Like,
Yeah.
I know I've done stuff where I've worked with people because I'm nice, and I know I didn't really want to work with them because I not because there's anything wrong with them, just because I don't personally like their stuff. Like, I personally like your stuff, you know. But
thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. I promise.
Appreciate it.
No, but I've done stuff where there was a couple times where I had to learn a lesson. Like, okay, don't just work with anyone. Like, because you know, you have to. You know if it's right or not.
In the intro video to what Black Window, did you ever see the video I made where I just talk about like what this group is supposed to be?
I saw a few.
I don't know. It was like one video that I made to introduce the group before anyone could even get in the group. But I made like this like little thing of like, this is what I think this is going to be, and I think we can all do it. And at the very end of it, I kind of circle back to like the whole goal of this is for everyone to teach themselves that my dad always says this shit, to not sell yourself short. Like, the goal should be that you should know your worth and that you're accountable for that. So don't sell yourself short. And every time I would be back home and someone would be like, hey, can you come over here and just shoot this thing for me? And I'd be like, yeah, for sure. I'll be there. Never getting paid for it, or working like fucking way too many hours for that shit. And he'd tell me the same thing. Don't sell yourself short. And as soon as I got out here, it was like the same thing. You work really hard and don't get paid very much money for shit, but you know it's like, oh, this is going to be worth it, blah, blah, blah. And he just sit there and remind you. And it's like, I know, I'll get to it eventually, but right now I got to pay my dues. But just make sure you know, don't do that. But
that happened to me too. Like, once friends know you design stuff, they'll always be like, oh, hey, me, we thought you could do this logo for us. It'd be really cool if you could do this. But I don't make logos, but as soon as you do anything design related, you're a logo designer.
Yeah.
So it's hard to it's sounds savage to them when you're like no, or when you want like try to charge them.
Yeah, and they're like, well,
because
bro,
they don't
understand.
Yeah, they don't understand that I can't make you a logo in Photoshop. I need to be like a good illustrator,
right,
and do it right for you.
And it's like, come on, man, I got so many other things to do, and that's when you pick and choose your battles. You have to.
And then I got to a certain point where I was like, okay, fine. If you want me to design for you, I'm literally gonna download this app on my phone that clocks my hours, and you're gonna pay me as much hours that I feel like my time is worth at the moment. And that stopped it.
It always stops it. They never want to do that.
It's just a hassle on both ends, and you just have to say no. If they're still your friends, they'll still be your friends.
Yeah,
they'll
for
understand.
Sure. This Chloe Fraley, I'm so bad at names. Sorry, girl. She says, I'm interested in hearing about the value he got out of a formal education, if he got one, versus the experience and work he has had since then. I think this is, obviously we've talked about this and like what it has done for you. I do like to talk about education for the standpoint of, based on what you told me, what I think is interesting about you going through education, it's fucked up that a majority of the time you're struggling while trying to get the education. And by putting in this time and dedication to the system, that they weren't finding ways for you to get money and get it paid off. They weren't trying to help that. You were trying to find these jobs that were paid internships and trying to pay off. You're like, hey man, the reason why I'm doing this is to pay for this other thing, which is crazy to me because you're supposed to learn something at that internship, right? And then you're trying to make it into a job. But you're also supposed to learn something at college, and the idea is that you're going to get paid something back, which is crazy because if you go anywhere right now, if you go to Nordstrom and you say, I'm not good, but I'll learn, they're going to be like, all right, cool, we're going to teach you how to do this, and you will get paid while you're doing it, and you can work your way up. But that's an interesting thing about college is that they don't pay you. You pay lots of money to be there.
Them.
Yeah, when you could be doing like now, I can go to your channel for free and learn a lot of shit that I can go and implement into my videos in the industry and work as an editor or work as a graphic design person or whatever it is. That's interesting to me. But I'll let you answer this question.
That's a really good point. So, and I agree. All of the things that I learned from college are just inadvertent things from hating it so much, and I just knew that I just always ignored that gut feeling that I didn't want to go that route. But at the same time, like you said, having to go through that weird struggle, all of the things that led up to where I am right now are also like butterfly effect. Mm-hmm. Who knows what could have happened if I didn't. But would I say that I plan on using my degree? No. Do I have some small sort of resentment or regret for wasting so much time doing it? Yes and no, because you only learn through experience, right?
100%.
Of course, yeah. Right now, if I could go back to my 16-year-old self and say, just hustle on content for the next 3 years and you're going to be a millionaire before you're even 18 or
Guaranteed.
19. No, nobody can predict the future, and you build those type of confidences over time if you're not born into it.
Well, okay. So, sidebar to this. I thought about this earlier and I forgot. You were so good at calculating search things and finding ways to like dress something up to be clickable and do all this stuff, and you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about putting that energy? Obviously you did into an energy drink, but like what if you were to find a person that could explode off of your, Team 10 is doing the same thing. These kids might come in and Jake Paul is taking them and turning them into this fucking workhorse, and it's like he's doing that. But like, could you ever find that as a side business to implement your, I mean, you're a fucking pro at that shit. So
Yes, I have thought like, okay, at the end of the day, if all of this doesn't work out,
even a side hustle though, is that something that could be worth it?
Actually, like I have on my website listed, and I don't do it really often, but I'm open to doing coaching sessions on Skype, for whatever, just charging people per hour to really just break down. And I do implement it in like mini side hustle ways, like on my live streams.
Yeah.
I did a channel review live, so they can donate like using the super chat feature, like $10-$20, and I'll go on their channel live and in front of everyone watching, and I'll just give them like 5 to 10 minutes of
that's cool.
going through and breaking it down and what I would change and what I could give them from my like expertise, like quotation marks, opinion. And I do give them some great info, but it's up to them to utilize it.
Right,
but
for sure.
I always think, okay, if the whole YouTube channel doesn't, or if this whole like content, because it's bigger than a YouTube channel, although that's the main portion. But if this content business or just trying to make it as me doesn't work out, at the end of the day, I'm still a pretty decent video editor that could always just start going to get jobs.
Yeah,
I could right now, I could post on all my socials and just blast like taking music videos, doing music videos, 500 music videos, whatever, for upcoming rappers. I get emails all day asking me how much I charge for a music video.
Yep.
I'm just like, I don't want to do them,
Yeah.
Unless it's like
unless
it's a cool opportunity.
Right.
But yeah, at the end of the day, if I could bounce back to those, I have considered it. It's like a plan. It's like my fail-proof option. Like if all this crashes, I can go up to the next dude and be like, "Look, dude, it's not my time anymore, but I can tell you exactly what to do for you.
Fucking make you big."
But yeah, that's definitely. And I made some videos recently on my channel, like how to make money from YouTube, how to build an audience. So I'm making content about it, and I am utilizing that expertise as I build it because I know that it is valuable as well.
No, for sure.
So those are kind of like baby steps and mini steps, but
they're good.
I haven't fully. It's not a full-on thing, but it's like a little leg that I'm picking up, building as I have that authority to talk about it.
This dude Ryan, damn dog, I'm so bad at last names. Dorothy.
I feel like it's pronounced Doherty.
Doherty.
Silent
Okay.
H.
Sorry, dog. Are there any particular editors whose styles that you really, really like? I added a second really in there. He didn't say that. He just said really like, but.
Okay, first we're going to have to go with Ben here. Let's see. I feel like I know one that's on the tip of my tongue that I can't think of, but it's on a really amazing music video, and I can't think of it. The thing is,
Vinny Hobbs.
Yeah, Vinny Hobbs is cool.
Fucking amazing.
I follow him. He's cool. I know I have names right now, but I can't think of them. There's I guess that's the places that I get my This is because the places that I get my inspiration from are not really specifically all video editors. The places that I get my inspiration from are anyone who's on the come up. Like, wow, I really like how H3 blew up.
Right.
That's inspiring. Wow, I really like this. I really like respect Kanye's come up, or how Dr. Dre made beats. And even though that has nothing to do with video editing, that's the stuff that inspires me into whatever I do. But there's tons of great music video editors. I respect what Cole Bennett is doing with his whole business. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I respect what he's doing with this whole like people ask me all the time to break down his videos, and I don't want to do it yet because I feel like he's more in the same ecosystem as me, where I'd rather just work together.
Yeah, for
somehow.
sure. Do you know him?
I don't know him at all.
Okay, word.
But I mean, I get requests all day to break down his videos. Who else is cool? There's tons of dope people that I'm following on Instagram coming up, editing and doing creative things. But music video wise, I'd have to like sit down and go on my laptop and look at the tabs.
He'll post an Instagram live story or something.
Yeah, we have to do an addendum to this in the description. Like, Justin remembered that this ASAP Rocky video was really cool.
He liked it.
Yeah, I feel like there's some sort of ASAP video that was really cool.
LSD
was really cool. Yeah,
I got to meet
There's
ASAP
more.
the other day. Finally,
that's dope. Yeah,
he was really tight. My friend is Q's DJ MacWap. I was sitting there, and I know on tour it was crazy because Rocky had I was with like Q and his homie Smack. We were on the bus and something, and Mary's team had asked me to come on tour with her early. Like they were like, "Yo, you gotta come on tour." And this is while I was with Q, and the whole time, Q's best friend was like, "You're gonna blow up, Ben. You're gonna be huge off this tour, all this shit." And then all of a sudden, I'm getting the call to go on that tour. And he's like, "Told you, Mary J. Blige, man. She's calling you." And they're like, "Yeah, you're blowing up." And Q's like, "Yeah, Rocky was just texting me about it." And I was like, "What?" Like ASAP? And because I've loved Rocky shit since day one. And I was like, "Damn, so he's seen the tour videos. That's tight." And I just always wanted him to know that I made that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was like important to me.
Cool.
And then at the thing, we were at this event and he was there and I told MacWap, because MacWap's my homie and he's always plugging me with people and he's like always got my back. I'm like, "Yo, I want to meet Rocky. You should set that up." And he's like, "Oh yeah, let's go right now." And I was like, "No, not right now." We just like walk straight up to him and he's like, "Yo, this is my boy. He's the editor, bro. He's been my video guy." He's like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "You got the cosign from MacWap, so we're good." He's like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "Nothing. It was just to say what's up." And he's like, "Well, no, take the picture, bro. Get the like exclusive photo of me." And I'm like, "Nah, I don't want this one because like we're all backstage. I've seen a bunch of photographers taking this shitty photo of you just chilling or whatever." I'm like, "I'm good. I'll get it differently, like a different time." And he's like, "Take the picture, bro." And I was like, "All right." So I took this picture of them and then I got some shit of them performing. It was cool. But like he was really tight about it. Like
that was a really cool set that you posted on Instagram.
Yeah, that was fun as fuck.
That one, the trio
Q
one was
and Tyler
perfect,
and Rocky like just bounced around. But
that was perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up. There's since we're fucking at like 3 hours,
you got a lot of work to do, buddy.
Is it a lot of post work? Fuck.
I feel like you're gonna.
God damn it!
Just imagine every time I do a 10-minute video. I feel sorry for you to listen to my voice for so long. Every time I do a 10-minute video, you know, I end up watching and listening it over once to make sure it's all smooth.
If you knew how many times we had to watch this Chris Brown documentary, dog, the QC process is...
You're going to have to listen to an hour-long podcast because you're not going to remember what you did in the middle.
This info is totally worth it. If fucking 10 people get something out of this, it's totally worth it, I think. Like
welcome to my life, though. I listen to my voice all day.
I know. It's fucking...
It's great, actually.
I love it. It makes you better, though. Like, my only goal out of all this is I just don't want to say like a shit ton.
I say like so much,
so
and I
fucking
realized it.
I think I'm gonna put signs
I said
up
it in, this
in here.
Do not say
yeah,
like.
I think I'm gonna put signs up wherever I do the podcast.
It's so bad, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna wrap up and I'm just gonna go through the last there's like 3 questions I have left. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have anywhere to be.
Okay, dope.
And I'm not editing the video.
It's now your LA birthday. You're 11 minutes into being 25.
Yeah.
So, Ron Booker said, I would want to know what his marketing process to get his content to more people was. And I feel like you
check my video called How to Grow an Audience.
Boom.
And then my video on how to make money online. Those should give you some really good insight.
You just did the money online one, right?
Yeah.
That was good. I like it. Dry erase board style. Fuck with dry erase board.
Yeah, those are hard to shoot, actually.
Yeah, I believe it. So then that was great. Go watch those videos. Corey Catalodo. Damn, I'm just never going to say people's last names. Corey says, I'd like to know about his social life. I would like to know how his social life was affected grinding his way through YouTube come up. I'd imagine it takes a pretty big hit, and just like to hear about that a bit more in depth.
I did stop going on like all my... I said like again.
Yeah, damn it.
I did stop going on all of my personal accounts. Like you said, I have all these accounts that I had before, and I started new ones from scratch, saying this is going to be my business page. I started all these new ones from scratch, and I kind of just stopped going on my checking in with all the hometown people and just checking in with people like you and people online. So that's one thing. And then it doesn't totally die. You can still like head out, but you do have to say no to a lot of things. If I didn't get my work done for the day, there would always be a time at maybe 4 o'clock. My buddy calls, "Hey, you want to go to the gym?" I can't. I gotta do.
That's
my
the
thing
toughest
today.
part is that personal health and shit. Like,
Yeah, which I would do it after, but it would for sure several times a week because I'd become a night owl and wake up late. Everyone's not on that schedule. They'd be like, you have to learn how to say no, because sometimes I'd say, "Oh yeah, we can go grab a quick lunch or go grab a quick workout, and I'll just come back and finish."
Right.
And then you never end up doing it, and then you end up missing that day. But you have to, if you're good with your time management, you can squeeze out still having a bit of a social life. But you have to really you have to get your work done first thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because when people start calling you to do stuff later in the day, you have to have enough discipline to say no if you didn't get your work done. So if you're gonna spend the morning like looking at YouTube videos, which I do,
Yeah, for sure.
and waiting till later in the night to do your stuff, or whenever time schedule you're on, then you're gonna have to have enough discipline to say no.
Right.
So I've definitely said no a lot.
This is the last question. My homie Nate Sims, he lives in Nashville. He wrote, he posted actually a note from his phone with a couple questions that he wrote, and it's really pro looking. It looks good. Black with no cream questions for Justin. A lot of them we've gone over at this point. I think the last one that I like is, has your tutorial work led to work outside of your YouTube channel? Which also goes in with like how doors have opened. But I know we've touched on that, but like as of now, you're at 300,000 subscribers. You're crushing ass. You're saying rappers are hitting you up all the time. I get
Rappers.
Not rappers, musicians.
Yes,
are
actually,
hitting you up for
yes,
music
rappers.
videos.
Sorry, but when you say rappers, it sounds like you're talking about A$AP Rocky.
Oh, no. Like people are trying to hit you up to music videos
artists,
and stuff.
yeah.
So what are you saying yes to and what are you saying no to?
I basically say no to everything at this point
There's
because
no
I'm just
time?
working on my own thing, and I'm working on creating my own, like building out my own products and store and shop on my website. And I'm really trying to develop like software and plugins for these video editing programs.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
when are you
that's
trying to release that?
like transition packs and resources. And I have one thing available on my shop right now. Always plug, which you can go get. But
What do you have?
It's a LUTs.
Okay,
it's
so I saw that.
21 cinematic color LUTs, so you can apply them to grade your footage like instantly.
So let's you need to plug that you have a store, but this is what we have to remember, because I think this is going to be my hardest part when I was coming up. I was a musician. I was rapping and shit in Iowa, right? We had a hip hop group, and I needed to make money because I understood what a budget was, and I needed to afford what I was doing so I could do it more. And the hardest part was that I became a Google photographer in my area, which was like the most like corny, nerdy, white thing I could have ever chosen to do. And I would have to go to businesses and sell this shit. And I fucking hated selling stuff so much to people. Even with my music, I would like give people a free CD or a free t-shirt before I make them pay me. Cause I would like, dog, we're friends. I don't want to make you pay for this. Cause I was weird. I didn't like to take people's money for things I did creatively. But, what you're doing right now and what we're doing with Black Window Cream, it's like, I'm trying to create this space for as many creators as possible, and it's off of my own dime at the current point. Mm-hmm. You're doing the exact same fucking thing. You're choosing to live where you live and do what you're doing, and you rented a space to like design and create better content, and you're
which I no longer did. I did try for a year,
but still, you had a space for a year.
Yeah, I've definitely put a lot more money into it than it's ever made me back up until very recently.
Yeah, I bet. And now that you're at this point, these things are. I encourage people, if they have the money or would like to invest, to pay for your LUT packs, if that can benefit you. If you make music, LUT packs mean nothing. But like to be able to invest into those things, not just for the quality of content that you're providing, but the sole fact that shit supports you as a creator and allows you to continue to create and build out these things. So if you are building dope ass plugins and shit that's coming up, like trust me, that's worth it and is going to be beneficial to everybody. So it helps you create them quicker if you get motherfucking money. Please buy the shit. You know what I mean?
No, it's not even like I said, if you watch my video on how to make money online, it's just that it's all good to want to do what you love, but you have to have some sort of business plan underneath to be able to actually sustain it. Unless you're just some crazy starving artist who doesn't care about that or whatever. Like reasonably you have to have money somehow. So it's not like I'm just putting something up just to have some way that people can pay me. I legitimately crafted those for a long time, and I just never knew how to put them out. And I know that they're worth something, and at the same time, it saves people time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm selling it to those who want, who, you know what I mean? It's like not everyone has to buy something, but it's a product that's there for those who actually would have value from that. And I'm looking at also guys like Andrew Kramer and
fucking Andrew Kramer.
Yeah, and that's the reason I said all that is because that's why I say no to clients and one-off things right now. 99% of them that email me is that I'm so much more focused on I want to build these plugins and software because that's how I want to continue like building out this business or so. And like you said, with all these other YouTubers doing merch and all that, and that's their business is the merch. They're not going and creating content for other people. So I just personally, it's my personal choice that I kind of want to stray away from doing client work and services for other people. Yeah. And I much more have a better time building out my platform and kind of doing things for myself. But if someone was to email me with a really interesting opportunity that I would jump on, or that I feel like I need to jump on, or that I would have fun doing, like I would definitely do that. It's just that at the moment I don't really.
Yeah, you're building your shit.
Yeah, I don't. That email hasn't come yet. So to what she said, what was her question? It was something about.
Just the last one we just asked?
Yeah, the whole time I've been talking. What was the exact question there? Because I was about to answer
the tutorial.
Oh, has it led to work? Yeah, it's definitely led to a ton of opportunities, but I'm not really seeking work from it. Right. It's just more as a tool to build my own thing. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if you creating content though will lead to work though. If you are trying to get, I'm not trying to get editing jobs. If you're trying to get editing job though, if you start talking about, I started talking about music video editing. I started getting emails asking me to edit their music video. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 100%. Do the same thing for whatever you're doing. You sell kitchen knives. Start making videos about the best kitchen knives. Yes. You start to see how it works.
100%. All right, dude. Well, fuck. It's been about 3 hours almost. I don't know.
We said we're going to go for an hour.
Yeah.
Have you let it run this whole time?
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Well, no, I stopped it for a little. I think we're close to 3 hours. This is a good fucking chunk of podcast. That, I know. I think someone should probably listen to this.
If you listen to this all the way,
comment. Let's
tweet us or hashtag.
I
want to say lamb chops because it's on your shirt.
Hashtag.
Lamb chops. We know if they say lamb chops, it can't be from anything else.
Yeah, that's true.
That they watched the whole thing.
Shout out to my boy. He has a clothing company called Lamb Chops in Minnesota. That's why I'm wearing this t-shirt. Yeah. But all right, tweet at Justin and say hashtag lamb chops.
Yeah.
And then
tweet
also
at both of us.
Yeah, tweet at both of us. All right.
Just anywhere you see or listening to this. Somehow reach out to us.
Yeah, find us on Twitter specifically and just say lamb chops.
I'll be waiting like 6 months later. I'll get a lamb chop emoji. Is there a lamb chop?
I don't fucking know. I appreciate you coming on here and shooting the shit with me, and hopefully this helps a lot. I don't know. I feel like there's so many people that are in this spot right now.
I got a really nice, deep, kind-hearted message. I'll show it to you after.
Okay, cool.
This guy listened to a podcast and like
for a second I thought you were talking about someone sent you a nice message about this right now. I was like, fuck, are we live?
No, about someone that listened to my podcast. So
good. That's cool.
I think people should appreciate it.
No, for sure, man. I think it's going to affect a lot of people.
And thank you for having me on and inviting me into your humble abode here in your house.
Yes.
Stranger. I
have one last question, though. This is it. One last question. Because I really want to end on like a fucking cool question that ties it all together. And Black, yeah, you know what I mean? Like Black with No Cream, to me, I've just been in a position where I think I'm in a place where I have not real crazy success, nothing nuts or whatever. I don't have like a mass following where I can pull up somewhere and go crazy. But I am finding a way where I can try to help those people that are looking up to me for this. And I think you do the same thing. You're helping your people out by offering them like your skill set, which is crazy. And so what I want to know is, who is the last person that you helped and why? Anything. It doesn't have to just be content, but like, who was the last person you helped?
I helped the Uber driver.
How so?
Giving him a tip, giving him a good tip. That's such a stupid answer, though.
Can you, I mean, if you could use it, before you answer that question, I was like, it could have literally been you helping this dude through a fucking midlife crisis in the
this
Uber.
lady dropped something at Pink's Hot Dogs, and I told her she dropped it.
What
These
the
are
fuck was
such
it?
stupid answers. I help people all the time. Like
Maybe this isn't the question I ask
do
people.
nice things when people are not looking. It is a good question, but this is maybe one that you have to like dig deeper and prepare about, because there's lots of small times that you help someone, but there's bigger times that I help people where I will completely go out of my way to help them or do something for them that I won't publish anywhere or that I won't be doing for content or anything like that. You know, they might hit me up like, hey, whatever, something, will you, like, I really answer people's DMs like in depth when I really should just disregard the conversation at certain points. Like this guy will start asking me for a shout out, and then I'll just break it down and give him a whole life lesson
of like why he doesn't deserve it yet.
Not that, but I go on in the DMs further than many people would, I think.
I do the same
and
thing.
I know that nobody's looking, and I know that I'm not going to post it anywhere.
Right.
But sometimes I know that someone else would have just exited out of the DM.
For sure.
And I'll just be like, no, dude, this is why, blah, blah, blah. You have to do it like this. This is, I'll type out like really long things that I know nobody would waste their time on.
That shit goes a long way too.
Yeah.
That's good.
So
see,
I wish I had a solid
No, that was
answer.
it. You got to it. You said two shitty answers first, and then you got to the third answer, which was good.
I mean, the lady
I'm
needed
kidding.
the
She
Uber
did need to
driver
know.
did.
The guy did need the tip. I agree. All right, cool. Well, that's the end of this shit. How can people find you? Let's do that lastly.
You can find me everywhere at Justin Odisho. I'm sure Ben will link it, but JustinOdisho. Just Google it. We're good on the Google game.
That's
here.
right.
Yeah, my YouTube and my Instagram and my Twitter are the best places where I'm most active.
Make sure to subscribe, follow him on all those accounts.
And
let
then
him
my
know.
website is where you can find everything else. So.
And if you made it this far to the very fucking final statement and you liked it, you should go, if you're new to Justin, go find him on Instagram and tell him I sent you. Say Black Window Cream sent you. And if you guys are listening to this, I love you. I appreciate it. This is going to be a fucking cool
you guys
adventure.
Are the special ones.
Yeah. All
Unless
right.
you just skipped here to the end.
Yeah, fuck you. All right, I'm going to close on that. Bye.
See ya. Thanks.
Wow. That was long as fuck. All right, that's it. That's the first episode. Thanks for listening. I'm not going to drag this out any longer. Make sure to comment that you made it this far. If you did make it this far, say Black with No Cream is a motherfucking shiznit. That way I know you made it. Comment that on iTunes. Subscribe. Share this shit. The next one's definitely not going to be this long. I should have made this into a 2-part episode, but I didn't want to like fuck it up. I just wanted it to be cool, raw, whatever. That's the whole point. All right. Thank you. Next week, Sunday, 8 p.m. I'll see you then. Bye.